Well, the Golden State Warriors, despite being shorthanded pretty much on a daily, consistent basis, find a way to keep things interesting. And it's predictable. We've said it on this show repeatedly. When the Warriors have a good team on the schedule, prepare for a close game because it's a trap. Good teams don't respect the Golden State Warriors, and they don't know how to defend them with everybody out. And you could see the aggression not there. You could see the urgency not there from these other teams. The Warriors led this game by, they led this game by 21 points early on in the first half. And then New York slowly came back, chipped away, took the lead, held on to the lead. But because these are trap games, they're typically going to be close and they're typically going to be interesting. But the results are also typically the same. The New York Knicks hang on in a tight one, final score 110-107. The Warriors had a chance to tie this game twice. The first time, Brandin Podziemski just rushed up a shot, bricked it. The second time, Ge Santos tried to get the ball to Quentin Post, who had a career high in scoring tonight. Unfortunately, that pass was not a good pass. But the difference between that pass by Ge Santos near the end and a pass by Will-Richard near the end of the first half tonight is that, unlike the Will-Richard turnover early on, you did not see Steve Kerr lose his absolute mind and go apeshit on Ge Santos like he did on Will-Richard. Yes, it was that happened in this game. We're definitely going to talk about it. It was utterly embarrassing on the part of Steve Kerr to exhibit his favoritism in a grossly inopportune time, considering a turnover that was caused by Brandin Podziemski's bad pass did not elicit a negative response from Steve Kerr for that bad pass. Steve Kerr decided to lose his shit publicly for the world to see, with Will-Richard being the victim. Count Will as another Warriors youngster whose growth is stunted by this grossly overrated head coach. That, again, I'm looking forward to the day when we can finally look ahead as in terms of this franchise and not keep being just held back in this mundane, boring, directionless present the Golden State Warriors find themselves in. They're now 3 games below 500, 110-107 the final tonight at Madison Square Garden. Again, a game where the Golden State Warriors led by 21. The fight is there like it is most nights. We've always known this team was deep, even with the ridiculous amount of injuries that they're dealing with. But these are also trap games. These are contests where, again, when you're playing a bad team, you notice the result is typically close because that's what the Warriors really are. They're a bad team. And when they play other bad teams don't view the Warriors as a trap. They view them just as another opponent. When the Warriors play these good teams, they are trap games. New York Knicks are another example of that. Is it excusable on the part of teams like the Knicks to not show up at the start of these games? Hell no. It's embarrassing, but they're human beings. This is human nature. That's what's going on. And the Warriors almost pulled off the upset tonight in a game marred by a public display of anger, of just a misdirected vitriol from Steve Kerr, losing his, again, absolute shit because of a turnover caused by his beloved Brandin Podziemski that Kerr decided to take out on Will-Richard. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about who's going to win a player of the game tonight. Hint, hint, it's going to be the guy that scored a career high in points tonight. We'll talk about that. And we'll talk about what's next tomorrow. Hamza's saying we were up by 25 tonight. No, I actually have a box score here that says biggest lead for the Warriors, 21. Thank you for the contribution, though. Again, if you are one of these, just, I don't know what to label you, casual, ignorant, whatever whatever the proper application is for your title in regards to whether you're a Steve Kerr apologist, whether you think this Brandin Podziemski love affair between him and the head coach is warranted. If you want to defend that position, come on the show. I'll post the link in just a moment. Otherwise, times aren't good. And for some of us, we're just looking forward to what's next when it comes to leadership. But we still got about a month and change to go in the season. A season that looks like they're tanking, but Steve Kerr doesn't act the part. I don't know what's going on there exactly. Are they tanking? Are they not? I don't know. Turkey Tang saying that Steve Kerr's yelling reminded him of me when I was on Kruger's show. Huge difference being my anger was appropriate. It was directed to the right person, who then ran away, by the way, in case you forgot that part, just ducked out. Yeah, I don't yell at people who don't deserve it. I don't yell at people who are just innocent bystanders. That is not how they roll. Now, at least I roll. But Turkey Tang, you do you. And all I could ask for is just come on the show. Just come on the show. See, and then Turkey, now you got to make it all like personal. You are in timeout. I friendly reminder for rules of this program, leave my name out of the chat. All right, because this show isn't about me. This show's about the Warriors. If you don't agree with an opinion of mine, talk about the opinion. Don't bring me into this. And Turkey Tang, or whatever your handle is, come on the show if you think you're a smart guy. If you really think that you've got some sort of gotcha, or you've got some witty takes to bring on the show, come on. You're welcomed. Anytime. Links coming soon. Program's coming next. We're powered by FanDuel, and the program is called the Golden Days. Yeah, let's go. Welcome to the program. It's called the Golden Days. My name is Cyrus Saatsaz, your host for the evening. You can follow me on Threads and Instagram at Dog Wild. Over on Twitter, my handle is at Surf Journalist. The program on both platforms at Golden Days Pod. We're brought to you by FanDuel. I'm on their website right now to see if the line for tomorrow's second of a back-to-back for your Golden State Warriors is listed. It currently is not. And the Warriors, who did they play tomorrow? I know it's a back-to-back. It's the Wizards. The Warriors are at the Wizards. And again, as I mentioned at the very beginning, trap games. They're consistent when the Warriors play good teams like the New York Knicks. When they play the Washington Wizards, that should be fun. That should be real competition there. That's where you're going to see what should be a much lesser team, referring to the Washington Wizards. Wouldn't surprise me if it was a fight between those two. The same Washington Wizards team that gave up 83 points to Bam Adebayo. Moments like these are when Stephen Curry is sorely missed, because if Bam Adebayo can put up 83 points on the Wizards, I want to see Stephen Curry let loose. No restrictions. Just put up 53-point attempts. Who cares? Make every possession a Stephen Curry three. That's what we could look forward to if Stephen Curry does come back, because something tells me that could be on the agenda. Just set some records. Just entertain. But currently, again, the Warriors and the Wizards on FanDuel, the line not available. If I had to guess, let me see if the injury report is out yet real fast while we're on the topic of tomorrow's game. If I had to guess the line, that one's a tricky one. I don't know how the bookies have been treating the Wizards this year. Haven't looked at a lot of those spreads. I'm going to guess Warriors 2.5. But again, the line currently not available. If it does become available before the show ends tonight, I will report that. The Warriors injury report, let's see if it's been submitted yet for tomorrow. I'm guessing no, but who knows? Well, there is an injury report. This was submitted at 5 p.m. today, right before the Knicks game, with, again, Seth Curry and Al Horford both getting MRIs. We don't know what the results of those MRIs are. Seth Curry, I don't think we talked about this on the show. It's a left adductor that's been affecting him, and that's what took him out of the last game the Warriors played. So Seth, again, something tells me we may not see him again, not just this season, but maybe ever again. The adductor, in case you're unfamiliar, is lower abdomen / groin / thigh. It's not a good. It is not a good part of the body to injure. Some parts of the body you can play through in terms of injuries and pain thresholds, and not worrying about the injury getting more severe if you push it. That is not the case with the adductor. And then same rules apply to Al Horford, Big Al, with a calf strain. Don't be surprised if we don't see him again this year either. I mean, a calf strain with the modern NBA being so overly focused on Achilles injuries, it's a little it's sketchy is what I'm trying to say. Very possible that both Big Al Horford and Seth Curry are done for the year, given there's only about 15 games left in the regular season. We shall see. D'Anthony Melton, I don't know if he's going to be available tomorrow, if that's why he was held out of today's game. Draymond Green is supposedly going to be available, which begs the question, why did he sit this one out only to be available for the Wizards game? But Dre is likely going to be available. Hopefully we'll have some news coming down during the show tonight. Again, D'Anthony Melton, I don't know what his status is going to be for tomorrow. I don't know what Moses Moody's status is. He's been out for a handful of games now with a right wrist sprain. Kristaps Porzingis is on the road trip, missed tonight's game with what they're calling illness management. Huh? I don't know what that means, but that's what they're labeling it on the injury report. Illness management. And then again, Quentin Post played today. And Quentin Post, their FanDuel player of the game, getting some big buckets late. And again, a career high for Quentin Post, who played 35 minutes, 26 seconds, was 4 of 10 from beyond the arc, 40% shooting from deep, was 9 of 16 from the field. That was better than 50% shooting there. Would have liked to have seen more rebounds from him at 3 in this game, 3 assists. Did have 3 blocks and a +5 in net rating. Take that for what it's worth. 22 points, again, a career high for Quentin Post, your FanDuel player of the game. Bravo to Quentin for getting that honor. Mr. Silac saying it should have been Pods. Yeah, he almost, look, if he had hit that 3 late, I would have probably given it to him. But again, it's first of all, Brandin Podziemski has to have a damn good game if he's going to get recognition on this show, for the simple reason that the double standard of opportunities is borderline nauseating in terms of seeing what he can get away with, the belief and trust Steve Kerr has in him, which is absurd on a side note. And look, if you're going to be getting team high minutes on a consistent basis, Podziemski played 37 minutes and 9 seconds tonight. You better impress. You better lead your team to a win. You better, for once in your life, hit the 30-point mark, which he's never done. Side note. And again, Podziemski did not have a bad game tonight. Outside of the 4 turnovers, he had 25 points, 2 of 7 shooting from deep. That's not good. That's something like 28, 29%. But 20 to 25 points, 5 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals, 4 turnovers for Brandin Podziemski. Not a bad game, but again, when literally everyone else is glazing this kid because the entire disgustingly pathetic media scene is pro Steve Kerr, the bias is ridiculous in terms of viewpoints, commentary, everything. Outside of this program and maybe a few voices that are starting to emerge more and more on social media, you still have a gross, sycophant nature with bias, with subjectivity, with propaganda, with PR speak. I mean, this is just every message that's out there is messaging the Warriors want you to get. The Warriors want you to think Podziemski's better than he really is. The Warriors want you to think Steve Kerr is this all-time great head coach who can do no wrong. And so again, if you want Podziemski glaze, get it everywhere else because he's getting player of the game honors. He's getting a complete disregard for all the negatives of his game and just a strict focus on his positive. The propaganda machine is out in full force on every other show out there. So, Turkey Tang, no, you moron. This is not pre-recorded. Okay, you're okay. Now you're blocked. I try to be open-minded with certain clowns, and unfortunately, you know, they want to take advantage of it, and then so I just block you. And then what good does that do? What good does it do you to not have your opinions come across? I could care less if you talk shit about me. I don't give two shits. I don't lose sleep because of the opinions of dipshits like people like Turkey Tang. It doesn't affect me one iota, especially the moment the show's over. But if you want your opinions actually to come across and for me to respect them, don't say stupid shit. That'll get you blocked. What good does that do? See, now Steph the GOAT is another one. Again, he wants me to kiss Brandin Podziemski's ass too. Brandin Podziemski played 37 minutes and 9 seconds tonight. He gets those kinds of minutes routinely and has never once scored 30 points. And yet that's the guy that you want to fantasize to. That's the guy that the dipshits out there have a poster of taped to the ceiling above their bed, including you, Steph the GOAT. And I've said this repeatedly, keep my name out of your mouth. And you dumbasses just can't do that. So again, you're banned. Because you know what? Banning you does not hurt the show at all. All right? The world will happily keep spinning regardless of whether or not your stupidity is showing up in this chat. And now that dumbass got banned. And the show's just going to keep going. It's not going to affect the viewership numbers at all. Go watch one of these other shows that are homers, that are pro-Warriors. Go get your fix there with your dumbass Brandin Podziemski glazing. No other head coach in this game would play him. There is Warriors homerism, and then there's just utter, despicable, simple-minded cheerleading bias that a lot of you idiots out there expect me to perpetuate. Wrong. Never happening. If Podziemski earns the credit, he's going to get it. But not in a game where they lose, not in a game where teams are asleep for the first half when he's actually putting up decent numbers, not when he's getting every opportunity, every double standard of favoritism from the coaching staff. He better show me that he's earning that favoritism. 25 points in 37 minutes? Not that impressive in a loss, especially. 28% shooting from deep? Not impressive. 4 turnovers? Not impressive. And Mr. Silax is saying, you know, like fans are going to fan. Well, great. And again, I've made it very clear. Just keep my goddamn name out of the chat. It isn't complicated. And there's a difference between fans being fans and actually applying just a smidge of critical thinking, just a tiny bit. Not to mention, if you're going to be a fan of anyone, be a fan of Ge Santos. Like, Ge Santos is a real basketball player. Ge Santos is a guy that actually causes problems for opposing defenses and isn't just the old man at the gym who can somehow, you know, is smart enough to use his body to create a little spacing, gets fluky shots in. I don't get what's impressive about Brandin Podziemski. I don't. And again, I said he was a good player tonight. I didn't say he was a bad player. But he better effing impress if he wants to be honored and recognized. And the fact that he still has never scored 30 points ever, that's the guy you clowns want to glaze on. It's crazy. Riz, is this true? Saying that The Warriors are 4-19 without Stephen Curry. That is a yikes. That is a big time yikes. And again, Draymond Green was out. Malafide Leon's got the start tonight. It was kind of statistically not a good game at all for Malafide. He played 19 minutes, 38 seconds, 2 points, the 5 rebounds are okay, 2 assists, 2 blocks. That's cool. The starters tonight, and again, this is an example of where like net rating can tell a bit of a story, like where advanced metrics are actual objective metrics. And that's when you're applying these net rating figures to entire lineups. The starters tonight were all in the positive in net rating tonight. Malafide Leon's +3, Ge Santos +2, Quentin Post +5, Podziemski +1, Will Richard +7. The guys who there were only 2 guys that actually had bad net rating statistics tonight. One of those was Gary Payton, who I thought actually had a fantastic game. His defense on Jalen Brunson was making an impact out there. Jalen was not comfortable. And Jalen Brunson, who finished with a game high 30 points tonight. But I want to look at the first half numbers because something tells me he was not pouring it in. As I say that, he had 17 in the first half. Never mind. I was going to say it felt like his impact was felt a lot more in the second half, but he actually scored more in the first. 17 first half points for Jalen Brunson, 13 second half points for Jalen Brunson. But Ge Santos was doing a number on him. And maybe the fact that Ge was defending him a lot more in the second half, that's a reflection of GP2's defense. GP2 playing 27 minutes, 44 seconds tonight, 8 of 13 from the field, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. One of those really nice corner 3 that was set up by Podziemski, a great assist. I don't say that often. I wish I did say that often. I'm not rooting against Podziemski. I hope that's not the impression being given, even though I know you homers out there probably feel as such, getting all offended because somebody's criticizing a certain Warriors player or coach. You thin-skinned little pests. But GP, I bring that up, that corner 3, because that was one of 3 threes he made on 6 attempts. Again, 50%. You like that. 6 boards for GP2, 4 assists, 1 block, 2 steals. But a -12 in net rating, which again, not a stat. You should take that seriously. 19 points for GP2. I'm guessing that's a career, not a career high, but a season high for Payton. And then the other guy that struggled in the net rating category, Nate Williams, who inexplicably did not play last game, even though it felt like his presence would have been needed in the previous clash. Who did they play last time? Minnesota Friday night. Yeah, he was inactive. He was playing for Santa Cruz that night. Why? You'll have to ask the genius brass of the Warriors what led to that decision. He was available tonight though. Played 10 minutes 23 seconds, a -10 in net rating to go with 2 points and 1 turnover. That's his entire stat line. Damn. So Nate Williams not making an impact in this game tonight. LJ Cryer, also a relatively quiet night for him. In 13 minutes, 38 seconds, just 3 field goal attempts. Those were all threes. He made one of them. Those represented his 3 points, added 1 rebound, no assists, 1 turnover. The Warriors had 18 turnovers tonight to 15 for the New York Knicks. Even though the points off those turnovers were almost identical, 21 points off turnovers for the Knicks, 22 for the Golden State Warriors. Pretty even there. The Knicks did have 8 more free throw attempts than the Warriors, and there were 22 of 23 from the free throw line. That's impressive. 95.7% of New York's free throws made. The Warriors were 13 of 15 from the free throw line. Podziemski got to the free throw line a lot. Weirdly, early in this game, I think he went to the line 3 times for being fouled for 3 3-point attempts. I'm pretty sure that is correct. Which is crazy. Yeah, Mr. Silax is nails it. In case you're confused, like why do you talk about Podziemski so much? Because he gets the most minutes, he's getting the most opportunities. He's suddenly become the face of this franchise. And they're not winning because of it. It's one thing if he was going out there like tearing it up, and but he's not. Anyways, Bay Area 806 saying the majority of Bay Area fans are casuals and extremely soft, but they don't act like it. Isn't that the weird part? I agree with you to a large sense, but damn, do they take it really personally? If you, God forbid, criticize Steve Kerr, like do these people expect him to give him a cookie for supporting them? Like, do you think you're going to get a brownie from Steve Kerr with like a candle in it? Like, do you think he's going to come and wish you a happy birthday someday? I don't get that part. I will never understand fandom for a coach. That part, whoop, over my head. Don't get it. I get that the fans are casuals, but a fan of a coach? Make that make sense. Now, yeah, 49ers Mind is saying, how can anyone take it personal? I don't get it either, but trust me, on average, I'd say 5 days a week, I will wake up, start my day, eventually get to the social medias just to see what's happening in the world. And if there's anything I need to catch up on. And I'd say on average, 5 out of 7 days a week, there's a DM in there saying, F you, hope you die. Some of them are, I will kill you myself. It is insane, the amount of vitriol that are in my DMs on a routine basis. And look, good news, at least for me, I guess, I'm desensitized to it. But damn, do they get angry? All because of Steve effing Kerr, the poster child of privilege. The moment you pay any attention to the nuance of that guy's leadership, you immediately see through the facade. It does not take a lot of research to figure it out. But because of the 4 rings that he happened to have that title of head coach for, even though, again, my dead grandmother could have coached from the grave 2 of those 4 championships. Like, seriously, like, did the Warriors of 2017 need a coach? Did the Warriors of 2015 need a coach, or 16, the 73-win team, when Luke Walton took over for 25 games and they won, 24 of 25? It's crazy. Reginald in the chat saying that 95-7 the game stopped him from saying anything negative about Podziemski. Again, it is propaganda full steam. And I guess where it irritates me is the casuals who buy that shit up, who lap it up, who eat it up without applying any independent thought of their own to this. Oh, I like that, Julian Bashir saying Kerr derangement syndrome, which leads to the incident of the night, and then I'll open up the link, and I'll also see if any of the 2 or 3 reporters traveling with the Golden State Warriors on the 6-game road trip had the cojones to bring it up with Steve Kerr. But we got to talk about Steve Kerr losing his absolute shit during tonight's broadcast and during tonight's game. So, in case you missed it, Brandin Podziemski was pushing the ball. The Warriors, I think they forced the turnover on this possession. They got the ball. It was, I can't remember if it was a steal, a missed field goal attempt that gave the Warriors an opportunity to start pushing the ball really fast down the court, going the other way. But the ball's in Podziemski's hand. He starts pushing it. Will Richard is in the lead far down the court, set up for an easy fast break layup. But Podziemski's pass went long. It was a bad pass. And Will Richard, I guess what he should have done in this instance is just let it go. But what he tried to do, and I'm not defending what Will Richard did here, is he tried to save it. Like he extended himself. He got his hands on the ball, and the momentum of his body running down the court was taking him out of bounds. There was no way to salvage the play himself. So he gets the ball, and as he's about to fall out of bounds, he flicks it behind his back to try to save it. That's a mistake. All right, that is a mistake. No doubt about that. But so was Brandin Podziemski's bad pass. Podziemski's bad pass was the cause, Will Richard trying to save that bad pass, the effect. And Steve Kerr lost his effing mind. And my guess is part of the reason why Kerr went apeshit in that moment is because the Warriors had built up a 21-point lead. And at this stage of the game, and I think this happened in the second quarter, the Knicks started to come back. And by the end of the first half, the score was the Warriors led 35-21 after the first quarter, and the Knicks cut into that lead. So by the end of the first half, the score was 54-45. So a 14-point lead after one, a lead that had grown to 21 early in the second quarter, had been whittled to 9 by the end of the first half. And so as this lead is getting cut into, Steve Kerr decided to scapegoat Will Richard. And there were two words that the mics picked up. Let me see if I can find it right here. Forgive me 1 second here. Steve Kerr kept yelling about the ball. Like his point was, you don't just give up the ball. And if someone in the chat has those exact words that he was saying, I can read it. I don't remember what exactly he said verbatim, but it was something to the vein of, you don't lose the ball. The ball is everything. And a word man dropping a $5 donation. Thank you, sir. Saying that the Will Richard tossed it back and then Podziemski kicked it out of bounds. So possibly 2 turnovers in that possession by Podziemski, even though I think Will Richard got credit for at least one of them. Will Richard finishing the night with 2 turnovers, Podziemski with 4. And Richard did not have a great offensive game, did have a monster dunk to start the third quarter coming out of the second half. But going back to that play, so Steve Kerr is losing his shit, and he's like yelling at Will Richard, like, protect the ball. Here, I go rot discovery in the chat. Golden Dazer, thank you, saying that Steve Kerr said, quote, take care of the ball. There was something else he said too, though. There was like 2 lines that he said. I go raw discovery saying that, yeah, ball is everything. And again, these clips are everywhere already. I retweeted them on both my threads and my Twitter accounts. So you can check it out for yourself if you want. I don't want to risk copyright violations playing NBA clips on the program, but I want to try and find that exact quote. I guess I wanted to play that clip, but that's like directly in the NBA. or that's directly in from an NBC feed, and they are very vindictive when it comes to copyright. So I can't play the clip on the show. Forgive me for that. But the ball is everything. That is one of the two things he yelled. Take care of the ball. The ball is everything. And then New York had the ball. And I can't remember what happened in that possession. I think they scored, and then Steve Kerr calls a timeout. He's still livid, still yelling, takes Will out for the rest of the first half, and then thankfully brought him back at the start of the third quarter. And then Will-Richard had that monster dunk, and but it was just an awful look. It was an awful look. I mean, this is coming from a guy who, again, piss poor track record of development. And when I say piss poor, I mean non-existent. Like, man has not developed a single player. And that public display of lunacy from Psycho Steve was embarrassing and a clear-cut example of why players don't develop under him. Trees in $21.99 dropping $2 in the chat saying Podziemski, the golden boy takes all joy away. And that's on top of this clip that I haven't had a chance to play yet. And I feel like now is a perfect time for this. I agree with the sentiments that the Podziemski minutes, him leading the team in minutes, him getting all these damn opportunities, him being clearly Steve Kerr's favorite basketball player. Very important to note, there is one massive positive with Podziemski, and that is availability / durability. Okay, huge positive. Like, if every NBA player was able to just be that physical like Podziemski, and his contact, and he stays on the court no matter what. Like, he never misses games. That I could see being very appealing for a coach. It just ain't enough, though, man. He is not dynamic enough of a basketball player to be earning this. And then he had the audacity to say this the other night, which was a foot in the mouth moment. So we had a foot in the mouth moment from Steve Kerr tonight. And then this was, I think, following Friday night, where Brandin Podziemski called all the injuries the Warriors are suffering a blessing in disguise. I'm not making this up. Hear it for yourself.
I look at it as a blessing in disguise just because it's an opportunity, and you're able to build confidence when you're out there, especially when there's no expectation and people probably think we're going to lose. So it's a blessing for me just knowing that when the other guys come back, that confidence that you build up, you can be ready to continue to show that when they get back.
Like that, like, in what world is that a comment that the takeaway is a focus on the team and not the individual? I'm telling you, man, like Podziemski has been recruited into the little cool kid clique, the old boys club of Kerr, Steph, Draymond. Now Podziemski's a part of it. And none of these guys care about the team, about the future. It's all about them. It's repulsive. It's disgusting is what it is. $49er Minded in the chat is asking, play the Kerr-Richard incident. I can't because of copyright issues. It happened during the game. Let me see if there's any sound that has come down so we can get to that. I see some Ge Santos sound. We'll hear from Ge Santos in just a second. There's some sound from new Warrior Omar Yurtseven. In case you missed that, we haven't had a chance to talk about that on the show today or at any point. And this move, I think, was made just yesterday because of how shorthanded the Golden State Warriors are. They signed a new player. His name is Omar Yurtseven. I think they signed him to a 10-day contract. I saw he was at the podium today. But I want to hear from Steve Kerr. Here's Kerr. Oh, and he talked about that. He talked about that. Good. So here, this is courtesy of Kenzo Fukuda. Unless, let me see if there's a better sound source of audio than what, because Kenzo usually, the audio from him is not great. All right. So I guess Kenzo Fukuda it is. Clutch Points, who's traveling with the team. Bravo. Would shock me if Clutch Points was paying for those travel expenses. Kenzo, more power to you. Anyway, so Kenzo Fukuda posted this clip. This is Steve Kerr saying he regrets losing his composure a little bit there. A little bit. You should be full of regret for acting like a psychopathic nut job. And turn the volume up on your devices, please, because again, Kenzo, when he posts these, he's using his cell phone. The audio is not good when we play these clips from the beat reporters. So all you got to do is turn the volume up a little bit, and you will be able to hear it. Hopefully, here is Steve Kerr talking about the ugly incident on the court today, where he lashed out at Will-Richard.
I think off one play on the fast break early in the game. What did you see on that play? What was the
Well, I thought he could have caught the ball. It was a bad pass from BP. And BP should have made a good pass. Will's got a dunk. Turns into a 5-point swing. I was mad at Will because I thought he could have corralled the ball and not thrown. I thought he was trying to make an around the back pass for a score. I might be wrong. From my angle, it looked like he could have corralled the ball and made a jump stop. And I was really upset with the whole team for the second quarter. That's where the game got away from us a little bit. Too many turnovers, too many careless plays. Will had just gotten an offensive foul, pushing off. So I was upset with him, but I kind of regret losing my composure a little bit there because it's my job to keep the guys going, especially when we're without so many players. But you've got to, that's a big part of winning a game like this, is making good decisions and understanding how valuable the ball is. It started with Brandon's pass to him. He tried to lead him instead of just hitting him. And then he put Will in a tough spot. I probably shouldn't have gotten as mad as I was.
And also 22 points from Quinton Post. Are you happy?
All right, so that was the clip where Steve Kerr expresses remorse in hindsight, mentions Brandin Podziemski's name. Would have been nice if it happened in the moment. I want to hear this one more time. At the beginning of it, he said some pretty crazy things here. One more time, here's Kerr.
with Will-Richard, I think off one play on the fast break early in the game. What did you see on that play? What was the
I thought he could have caught the ball. It was a bad pass from BP. And BP should have made a good pass. And Will's got a dunk. Turns into a 5-point swing. I was mad at Will because I thought he could have corralled the ball and not thrown. I thought he was trying to make an around the back pass for a score. I might be wrong. From my angle, it looked like he could have.
And that's the part that should incense the average observer. Steve Kerr admitting he could have been wrong about that. But his vitriol, his anger, directed clearly at Will-Richard. Not at the person who caused the whole mess, which was Podziemski. You would not see Podziemski criticism if he was coached fairly, meaning if he was treated equally like everyone else on this team. But that doesn't happen. The double standard is revolting. And then there's one more clip I want to play. And then while I play that, I'll post the link if anybody would like to join me tonight, you're welcome to. That includes any of these douchebag trolls who just you hate the criticism of your golden boy Steve Kerr. You hate the criticism of your golden boy Brandin Podziemski. You'll happily DM me disgusting, hateful, violent things, but you can't have a conversation. That is your Steve Kerr apologist for you. That is your casual Warriors fan for you. an absolute ignorant, psychopathic nut job. And what's even crazier is those people will likely levy that same accusation toward me. Because once or twice a year, I just can't take it anymore in terms of the ignorance. It's just mind-blowing, the lack of anything sensical that comes from the mouths of these guys. It's crazy. And so here's the link. Sorry, I haven't done that yet. My point is, I welcome you fools on this program. Just have the balls to say it to me. You're not even in my face. There's a digital screen separating us. Do you not want people to hear your voice? Do you feel like that's enough where you might get identified? Like, what's going on here, man? What is wrong with you people? There's a lot of you that have very serious problems. I want to play one more clip, and this is just, again, even more Steve Kerr favoritism directed toward his non-biological child, Brandin Podziemski. And this clip is Steve Kerr saying he had no problem with Brandin Podziemski taking a quick three late in the game. Was not a good look, mind you. Rushed it. There was plenty of time left to look for a better shot. And naturally, Steve Kerr says, I loved it. Because, of course, what else is he going to say about his favorite non-biological child? Unreal. Here, this is courtesy of Joseph Dykes, who published this clip, also on his Twitter account. Here's Steve Kerr after the game on Podziemski's late shot that would have tied it. I would have given him FanDuel Player of the Game honors if that had gone in and the team ultimately would have won. But it didn't go in. It bricked. Podziemski shot 28% approximately from three tonight. And here's Steve Kerr with the double standard, making excuses for his golden boy, Sideshow Bob, Dollar Store Dre, Timu Dre, Brandin Podziemski.
Didn't want to call timeout. I wanted to play in flow. He had Brunson on him. He looked like he was going to attack. Brunson backed up. I love it. Take the three, go for the throw. Loved it.
Loved it.
Didn't want to call timeout. I wanted to play in flow. He had Brunson on him. He looked like he was going to attack. Brunson backed up. I love it. Take the three, go for the throw.
Oh my God. And thank you for the correction from the audience. My mistake. For whatever reason, it was in my mind that it was a 3-point game at that point. No, the Warriors were down just one. They did not even need the three. All they needed was a basic bucket. Genji Gawk in the chat adding, the story isn't the final shot. The story is Steve Kerr going away from the traditional sized lineups that had them up 20. Jen Lena in her chat. Jen, I hope you someday make an appearance. You always say, I like your commentary. That's what I'm trying to say in the chat. Writing that Steve Kerr always preaches how you pass up a good shot for a better shot. Not when it's Podziemski or one of his faves. Double standard Steve, psycho Steve, privileged Steve. Let's bring Memo on the show. Memo, you are on the program. How are you doing?
What's up, Si?
What's up,
Can you hear
Memo?
me?
How are you?
Yeah. Well, about the game, I thought, it was a solid fight. But just again, with all the injuries that, the Warriors have, it's tough to just close out games. Especially
It's also
when you
tough
do the
to.
lead.
It's also easy to give up. It's also easy for other teams who are good to give up big leads to start. We've seen this a lot this year, where teams just sleep on the Warriors because of the injuries, because of how many players are out. It's crazy, but like that. This is what's happening. Like teams see Steph's out, they see Dre's out, they see a team full of G Leaguers, they see a team with Brandin Podziemski leading the way, and they're not scared, man. And it helps the Warriors because the aggression, the urgency, none of that is there. And so you see the Warriors take these big leads because they are trying on a night-by-night basis, man. This does not resemble a team that is tanking.
Yeah, I mean we're the trap team. You know what I mean? Like other teams, they look at the Warriors and they're like, maybe they could take it a little easy. It's just human nature, you know. You see,
Yeah,
all these
exactly.
guys
Yeah.
probably don't even deserve
Which is
to be
why,
in the
like
league.
tomorrow night, for example, when they play the Wizards, like don't be surprised if the game's almost identical, because the difference is you're going to have a Wizards team who will be aggressive, but they're nowhere near as good as the Warriors. So you'll probably see the Warriors, be in the fight, maybe have some leads here and there, maybe win the game. I'm still waiting to see if FanDuel's going to give us a line for that one, because I am curious to see who's favored. I'm going to guess. Oh, the line's out. Line's out. Real quick, Memo, do you have a prediction for who's favored tomorrow night? My prediction was way off. I predicted Warriors favored by 2.5 points. I'm way off. That's your one hint. Or who's favored in your opinion, the Warriors or the Wizards, and by how much? The line's courtesy of FanDuel.
I mean, it depends on who's playing. Like if Kristaps is playing and Melton and some of the guys, and I'd probably take the Warriors
as the favorites, right? Well, it's not just So Melton, I'm gonna. These are all guesses, but I think it's a safe guess. Melton will play. We know Draymond will play. I don't know what the status is of Porzingis, but at least Melton and Draymond Green seem to be a go for tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, you never know the status of Porzingis, really. But
I know.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the fact that he was listed on the injury report with illness management?
Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, I'm assuming they just had to put something on the injury report,
Yes.
and that's what they put, right? I mean, I don't think they could say rest, just because like I don't think that would look good at all if they put rest on there. So I'm assuming that's what they did.
Illness management, and but we don't know what the illness is. It might be POTS, it might not. It might be a mystery.
Weird.
Whole situation is
really
insane. Sorry, what's your prediction, real fast? Warriors and Wizards tomorrow night. What's the line? Courtesy of FanDuel.
You threw me off when you said that was way off, because that's what I was going to predict, right? But
I said Warriors minus 2.5, and that is not close.
Wow. So is it the Wizards then? Are they favored? No way, right?
I didn't say that. I could be way off in the other direction too.
Oh, okay. I'd say like Warriors by like eight points, something like that.
You are as close to being a winner as you can get. Within a half point, you deserve a round of applause for that. Warriors by 7.5. This
7.5
of FanDuel. The money line, if you want to bet on the Wizards, plus 240. The OU 231.5. So the bookie's expecting a lot of scoring, and they expect the Warriors to kick some ass in the nation's capital tomorrow. Good job.
All right. Well, I'll take it.
Sorry, I don't have anything to give you, but other than
it's okay.
Pride.
There's not much to give, to be honest. but I think my takeaway is this season's like a wash, right? So I think you're probably looking at players that could help you next season, and that's kind of what you're looking at here. Like Ge, I've enjoyed watching him play. He's been a big positive in a pretty terrible season, right? Just seeing his development. And apart from that, Paz is super inconsistent. I mean, that's always the deal with him. Tonight he played decent apart from his turnovers. But you just never know what you're gonna get from him night to night.
You don't.
Right?
Yeah.
The step for him is the 3-ball. That just needs to be 38 to 40%. If he could consistently give that to you, you take that. You know what I mean? And Moody, hopefully he can come back. He's another player that I look at who could really help you next season. That's what you're looking at, man.
It's a right wrist. We were supposed to get an update on that this week. Today's Saturday, right? No, today's Sunday. Mm-hmm. Wait, we're about to start a new week. We were supposed to get an update last week. I don't know what's going on, man. Shit show.
Yeah, it's been a problem. But apart from that, Will Richard is another guy I look at to see maybe if he could, bring you a little bit more. He doesn't attempt many shots. I think tonight it was three shots he attempted
total.
So yeah, you never know.
And it begs the question, is that by design? I'm gonna guess yes, because you see Will Richard basically playing the same role that Kaminga used to. And this was a huge gripe, and it's what led to the deterioration of the relationship between Steve Kerr and Kaminga, is that Kerr would always put Kaminga in the corner as the weak side decoy. And look, with this offense, you need that because that's what the triangle is ultimately. The triangle is 3 players at all time are part of the offense. The other 2 are just waiting to see what happens. And it was such a waste, in my opinion, of Kaminga's talents to just have him stashed in a corner. Not to mention, if Steve Kerr didn't like his shooting, why are you putting him in a corner for a 3-point shot if all else fails? But he's doing the same thing now with Will Richard. And again, Richard, he had I thought he had a bad game Friday night against Minnesota. I forgot how many field goal attempts he had, but the fact that he only had 3 field goal attempts tonight in 29 minutes, that's bizarre to me. Like, why not try and take advantage of him more? Yeah, I'm with you. I wish we saw more of Will in terms of being utilized in the offense.
True. And then also like Cryer, Will and Cryer, I just like to see a little bit more,
What were your thoughts on Cryer tonight? This was a quiet game from him, I thought.
I mean, yeah, he was just non-existent, to be honest. I mean, he had 1 3, I think. But apart from
with
that,
3 shots total.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, Pat, my takeaway on Pat, like, how old is he? He's like 28, 29.
Pat Spencer?
Yeah, like
he turns 30 either this
30,
summer
right?
or early next year.
Yeah, so like if we're being serious here, like he doesn't have much of an upside, you know what I mean? Like he is who he is at this point. That's why I kind of want to see minutes for Will and Cryer, just because if you're gonna lose anyway, might as well see them and see what they can do.
Yes.
So like that's just kind of my gripes. I have nothing much else to say. I mean, the 2-way guy who played tonight, like he didn't look great. It's his first game, so I guess you could just give him, we'll see him tomorrow probably, see how he plays. Nate Williams, same thing. He's a 2-way guy, right? Like these guys aren't serious NBA players anywhere. And the only reason they're getting minutes is because the entire rotation is injured. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seth, it's unfortunate what happened to him this season, not being able to see Seth and Steph play. That's, I really wanted to see that. I don't think we're going to see a single possession of that this year, which is crazy. But like, that's what it's looking like right now.
The adductor is serious business, man. Like an adductor injury usually doesn't bode well for a quick comeback, a quick turnaround. That's one where you're missing weeks, and especially with Seth Curry, who he's got the dad bod. He was dealing with a sciatic nerve injury that kept him out for over 3 months. It looks like that experiment is over. Let me ask you this, Memo. A huge storyline of the Warriors this season is the fact that nearly every player is routinely injured. Jimmy Butler went down with a torn ACL. Stephen Curry's missed 17 straight games and counting. A little surprised he was on the road trip, honestly. Happy belated birthday, by the way, to Steph, who turned 38 yesterday. And again, he was with the team tonight in New York. But Memo, my question to you is, should any of us be even remotely surprised that the Warriors' best players have not been available this season? I mean, Steph turned 38. Jimmy Butler will turn 37 this summer. Draymond Green recently turned 36, or he's about to. I know March is his birthday month. He's 36, right? And I don't think anyone's missing him on these games where he's not playing. My point is, isn't that what's supposed to happen with old teams? And
no, that's true.
And so why are the Warriors still doing this? Like, at what point does the front office kind of accept reality that, yeah, Steph is the GOAT of this franchise, one of the greatest to ever do it. He's the king of the Bay Area, but is this franchise just going to keep sacrificing year after year as long as he wants to play? Or at one point, are you going to kind of like accept reality that old dudes don't play professional sports for a reason? Because they're old, their bodies break down, they're not available. And what's going on here, man? Like Memo, like, is that an issue that you just don't care about? I'd love to know what your thoughts are on that.
No, you definitely care about the age of your roster. And having your best player being 38 years old, it's an issue for sure. I think for him, you need to limit his usage. Like the problem with the Warriors, in my opinion, right now is you rely on a 30-year-old Steph more than you did a 20-year-old Steph. You know what I mean? You had your dynasty early when he was at his peak, which is nice, right? Because you have prime Steph along with all these weapons around him. But now you got an older Steph with basically no talent around him, and he has to, pick up the miles at his age. He got what, runner's knee? Like, that's just an overuse injury. You know what I mean? Like, you just put too many miles on him, and that's why he's out for so long. I do think, with Green, and my takeaway right now is some of these injuries could just be their like soft tanking. Like, again, look, I mean, I don't know anything about the team, but like Melton not playing tonight, Kristaps here and there not playing, like some of these injuries, I think they could be a little more conservative. Like they just might be being a little more conservative. And the Jimmy injury, I think that's just like, that's unfortunate. I don't think anyone expected him to just blow out his knee entirely.
Well, Armando Laura would disagree with you. Or the professor who joins us every Friday for happy hour. He was predicting this since the summer. He was calling this season the injury ball season, and he thought Jimmy Butler was particularly vulnerable because of his style of play and the fact that he was being put in these positions as the team's power forward, which is not his natural position. It was making him vulnerable to undercutting, to landing awkwardly. And that's exactly what happened here, man. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess that's a good point in terms of that. But like Horford, he was always gonna, in my opinion, be injury prone. Like, he's 39 years old. He's been durable here and there for the Celtics, but like, if you're seriously considering him to be a big part of your rotation, like, he's gonna get injured. Seth was always an injury prone player. Right, like even like for a guard, he I think it's his style of play too. Like, he goes for loose balls, he dives on the floor, he's old, he's a smaller guard. You know what I mean? Like he's bound to get injured. And Melton, came off an ACL. That's been the problem with him. That's why he's on the Warriors right now, because he couldn't stay on the floor.
You're right.
His contract, so
he wouldn't be cheap otherwise. You're right. No,
you're
right.
Yeah. So like again, like I said, I think for this season is about developing, seeing what you could do next season. Hopefully, Adam Silver, you could give us some type of hope. You know what I mean? Like the Mavericks last year. Although, we didn't trade Luka to the Lakers, so I guess that's not gonna happen. But that's what you're
traded Kaminga for nothing. So I mean, it's not the same. You're right,
but yeah,
but maybe a little sympathy. I know. How sad is it that the idea of Adam Silver rigging the lottery is not far fetched? There's really something very wrong with that, but that's where we all are. It's crazy.
I mean, I think if people don't think that was rigged, like, I don't know, bro. Like, they got a 1.9% chance, and then miraculously got the number one pick after trading Luka to like the biggest market in the NBA. It's just so obvious at this point.
It's got an odor, dude. There's flies. Yeah, there's flies over this thing. It's not good. It's not a good look. Memo, how's life for you, man?
It's going fine, man. Just I'm in college right now, so just doing courses and
good.
Trying to get.
What are you studying?
Yeah. Well, I'm studying economics.
Smart kid.
And finance. So yeah.
Smart kid, dude.
I appreciate that. But
dude, if I had to do it all over again, I mean, I'm 47, man. I'm getting up there. But if I was like 18 again, and I'm looking at college and what I'm gonna do in life, it ain't this. Like, the last thing I'm doing is I'm gonna get into the media game. Like, I would never in a million. Like, I would major in business and I'd figure out how to make money, man. Like there is no business model for the media game currently that sustains this. It's a dead field, dude. So props for choosing finance, man. I think there's some wisdom in that. Are you have you watched the TV show Industry? Because that show is I'm binging it right now. So forgive me if that topic's on my mind right now, but it's a great show, and it's focused on the world of finance. Have you had a chance to watch it?
No, but that sounds interesting.
Check it out.
Give it a try. Yeah.
Check it out. And it's got some old school like 90s feel to it in terms of like grit and language and drugs and sex, and then you got a Kit Harington, the guy Jon Snow from the what are those movies with the dragons and shit? What is that show called?
Okay.
The one with the dragons and the eggs and the Khaleesi and what is that show called? Not Lord of the Rings. Help me, Memo. Come on.
I don't know, man.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
It's the guy from Jon Snow from Game of Thrones. You haven't seen Game of Thrones?
Nah, bro. I've
Oh,
never watched
Memo.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, you got to catch up, man. You got
I
to.
mean-
That's one of the greatest shows ever. I'm not being hyperbolic saying that.
Everyone be telling me that, man. But, hey,
Oh, you're
I'll
gonna
try.
get
I'll try
sucked
it out.
in. Yeah.
All right.
Do Game
I'll
of
try
Thrones
both of them.
first, and then do Industry,
All
and then
right.
let me know what you think.
Okay, I'll try it.
Okay. All right, keep it going to the studies, man. Good to hear from you, Memo.
All right, you too, man.
Have a good night. Julian and Real Elise, I'm gonna get to you next, but I want to hear from a dissenter. I want to hear from someone who still believes in Steve Kerr. I don't know if Chosen is still that man, but Chosen, you're on the show right now. I don't know why your camera's all black. Are you there? Oh, there you are. Now you're with me. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm here. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. You're on the show right now. How are you doing?
Good, man. How y'all doing, man?
All right. All right.
So y'all
It's a
should
little
be
warm today.
celebrating. What are you talking about, man? Y'all should be ecstatic. This is
Why?
what y'all been asking for.
Oh,
The tank is here. This is what y'all wanted. What are you talking about?
Well, look, Joe, if they were intentionally doing this, excuse me, I'd be totally with you. But I don't think they're trying to tank, man. I think Steve Kerr is trying to win these games. Like, I don't think he'd care like he did and go off on Will Richard like that if he was trying to tank. If he was trying to tank, he wouldn't give a shit. He'd be like, whatever.
Man,
He wants
no way
Steph
all
back.
those guys are sitting.
What's up?
No way all those guys are sitting and Steph is still out and they're not trying to tank, man. They're 100% in tank mode.
I hope you're right.
Those guys ain't all hurt, man. There's no way. They can't come out and say that, obviously, especially after how the commissioner went after Utah and them this year. So, but they're 100% in tank mode, man. This is exactly what it looks like. So I'm not sure why everybody's getting frustrated. I should be frustrated. I didn't want them to tank, but here we are. Because I just don't think that the math is going to work in our favor. We have a low chance of getting a good pick, and I don't believe in our guys making the pick. I don't. We haven't drafted well in forever. I think the only way that we can improve this roster is through trades. And that should be, you guys should be ecstatic, man, that Pods is putting up 25 a night. It's increasing his trade value. All those teams that thought that he could be somebody, there'll be offers for him.
Okay, I feel you. Okay, Chosen, you make a good point on that front. Here's my pushback on that. I don't think any of the other 29 teams are buying this act, man. Like, I don't think any of the other 29 teams are seeing the Warriors on a night-by-night basis and these numbers that Podziemski's putting up occasionally and thinking to themselves, oh, man, dude, that guy looks good. I want a taste of some Podziemski. Like, I don't think anyone's buying the act, dude. Like, I could be wrong on that. I mean, I don't know, but I don't think – look, I get what you're saying. Like, if this was a nice setup for some smart moves to come, yeah, I'd say you're 100% right. I don't have that faith, though, brother. I just don't have the faith that they're doing this by design. I think it's just it happens to be falling into place, the tank. But here's the deal with the draft. Here's why I'm not as cynical about the draft as you are. And maybe cynicism is not the right word. Just maybe not as optimistic. Because cynicism just represents like there's no chance. And I think there's a good chance here the Warriors can do something. They have if they finish in the top 10, and the odds don't change much if it's, let's say, 11. They have a 14% chance of getting a top 4 pick. And that's why so many teams are tanking, because normally in a typical draft that's deep, you have someone at the very top that is just the creme brulee, right? Like the cherry on top that is just above everyone else. And this year's draft doesn't have that. It's got 4 dudes who may be Cooper flags, and even if they're not, they're still damn close to that level of guarantee of success in the NBA. There's 4 of them. And that's why this tank has been so extreme this year, where you have so many teams involved in it, because the odds of getting the number 1 pick, as Memo mentioned a moment ago with Dallas last year, was something like 1.9% for being one of the worst teams. But to get a top 4 pick, those odds go up. Let's say you're 13th or 14th. You're still going up from 1.9% to like 10%. Those suddenly become like more attainable odds for getting a top 4 pick. And I get what you're saying, though, in terms of, like, let's say the Warriors tank and then they don't win the lottery and they end up getting, let's say, like the number 10 pick in the draft. There is still, this is a deep draft. So even at number 10, you could still hypothetically land someone good, but that's where you need to have a little acumen with scouting. And that's where I'm with you, man. I don't know. I don't have faith in this team drafting the right guy if it falls to 10, but if it's top 4, you almost can't F it up. That's why in my opinion, you still have to go for it, like no matter what. But I don't know.
I mean, at this point, it's like
better at
not
all there for the tanking or no?
Pre-trade deadline, then I'd say 14%. What are you talking about? That's crazy numbers, right? But it ain't like we can trade for somebody now. So I guess 14% is better than nothing. So whatever, you know what I mean? We're not going to win a chip this year. So it's whatever. But man, I don't think the draft is going to work out for us, man. I really don't. It has not in the past. And I haven't seen them make any organizational changes that would dictate that the future is going to be any better than the past, right? Just saying. And so, man, let them go out there and lose, man. I wasn't, you know what? I watched I watched the clip again, and I don't think it was. I think it was just stupid because Will Richard had no chance of saving that ball. So I don't understand. Maybe from his angle, he thought he could, but it was stupid to yell at him. But man, he wasn't yelling that bad, man. Like it wasn't crazy. It wasn't Bob Knight or nothing, man. But yeah, man. He didn't have no chance of saving that ball. I think Potts had a chance of saving the ball, actually. But and through errant pass, hopefully guys who want him ignored that part of his game, man. But I'm excited seeing the guy score 25 a night, even if he's the 8th man off our bench one day. You know, whatever. But I'd rather his numbers be up, so at least during the summer, man. Hopefully Utah come calling again.
Well, look, that is very optimistic outlook for in terms of looking at the Podziemski output as a positive. Here's a huge reason why the 25 points tonight, and I want to look at his game log real fast because I don't think he's doing that consistently. Podziemski on the season is averaging 12.8 points per game. And when I look at his game log in terms of what he's been doing like the last month or two, with his minutes like considerably higher. So for example, in the month of March, he's averaging 18.8 points per game. March has been a good month for him. He's played 7 games. He's averaging 18.8 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, still just 3.8 assists. And again, that to me reflects just very poor court awareness. Like just not, his head is not on a swivel as he's attacking the paint or playmaking. Like his head's down half the time and he's just driving and acting chaotically almost. That to me that's my guess for why the assist numbers are routinely low. But he's also shooting 45.5% from deep in March. Those numbers are good. Now, February, unfortunately, however, he shot 25.5% from deep, and the points were at 12.7. And that goes back to consistency. And the biggest reason, though, and Chosen, I don't know if you agree with me on this or not, but the NBA, when you look at the talent pool, there's something like 400 players in the NBA at all times, approximately. It could be wrong on that number. I think it's about what it is. 30 teams, 15 players on each team. It's about 450. 153. Yeah, 450. What most NBA players say, like the old adage from former players and even current players, is the separation between the best and the worst player is razor thin, right? Like the argument from a typical NBA player is anybody in the league, if they're given ample opportunity, can put up 20 points on any given night. The question is, A, can you do it consistently? And B, is the production resulting in success for your team, right? And which is why, like, for example, tonight, if Podziemski had actually hit that 3-pointer at the end and it would have been a game winner, yeah, I would have given him honors, man. I was ready to, but he bricked that shit, man. That was a poor shot selection. But more importantly, that's why the 25 points tonight doesn't impress. Because anybody in the NBA, and this is players themselves saying this, can put up those kinds of numbers if they're given these opportunities. And Brandin Podziemski in the month of March is averaging 35.7 minutes per game. That's absurd, dude. That's like about as high as Steph has ever seen it. And so, of course, you're going to get points coming with that, right? Like, I've never said he's a garbage player. I just don't think he's average at best. That's my analysis of Podziemski, and you could agree or disagree with me on that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is what Podziemski does is not that impressive to me because it's not resulting in wins. He's getting all these minutes and opportunities. But what you're saying, all I can reply to that is, I hope it's true. I hope Podziemski's actually on the trade block. My fear is they actually like him. and they're going to hold on to him. And they're fooling themselves with these performances into thinking that he's more than he really is. And that's the part that worries me. Chosen, your thoughts?
Hey, man, I think that they do actually like him. When Dunleavy said the other day that he was a good defender, it had me mystified. I was like, what? What are you watching, bro?
Dunleavy said that? I heard Kerr say that. Dunleavy said that too?
Dunleavy said that in the interview the other day, yeah. He said that he's a good defender. I was just like, I'm not sure what he's watching, man. He gets whooped on perimeter defense. He gambles on team defense. He's a little better on team defense, but he gets whooped on perimeter defense all the time, period. But, man, look, at the end of the day, man, some of these other GMs might actually tune into your channel. And if you're always putting pods down, we're not going to be able to sell them high, man. We got to use some of that, some trickery or something, man. You got to come out here, man, and be like, man, Pod's 25. He's the next all-star, man. Come on, man. Help us out, Ty.
All right.
You can't run him into the ground, man.
That's the most convincing
We're
argument
hoping for the best.
That's you have easily presented the best argument for why Podziemski should not be critiqued. I'll think about it. I'll take that into consideration, man. I'm not going to just flat out reject you. I never believe anyone when they say that. Like, to me, the way my mind works on this show is like, you're the only person who's watching. You and the people in the chat are the only people watching. And then I see the numbers after the fact. And I'm like, shit, man, this is crazy. So you might be right. I never have the mindset of an NBA GM might be watching. I never think like that. You might be onto something. I don't know. And I guess the huge reason why I've never gone that direction of thinking is because I don't see the Warriors trading them, man. I mean, I know things have changed or times have changed from 2 years ago when they literally rejected Lauri Markkanen and supposedly Brandin Podziemski was a holdup in that.
Crazy.
I mean, who knows if like the amount of first round picks the Jazz were asking for played a part in that. In hindsight, I feel like they should have done it regardless. But I would not mind having Lauri Markkanen on this team right now. But I'll take that into consideration, Chosen. So what you're saying is like the less criticism of Podziemski now, the more likely the Warriors might trade him in the near future.
3D chess, man. 3D chess.
All right, I'll take that.
But no, seriously,
I will.
I think that Dunleavy's job has to be on the line this summer, especially if Kerr does decide to walk away.
So
That Lake Up would literally look at cleaning the house and restarting. And so I think Dunleavy's got to be looking at his job like he's got to make something happen here, because his big moves have been kind of duds, and he definitely messed up the salary or the cap space when he just like wasted when let CP3 walk away and just wasted that salary cap spot they could have filled, and we would have had the money to bring in another player. And just as trades, man, and I still don't agree with Armando, man. Butler was always an injured guy over and over again. So predicting he would get injured is like, okay, predicting the ice cream truck that comes every day is gonna come. Whatever, man. No hate on you, brother, but we all knew Jimmy Butler was gonna get injured. He got injured every year leading up to him coming here, man. That's whatever.
They were never this serious. I don't think he's ever had like a season-ending injury, but outside of the postseason where it's like so late he can't come back. But I feel you on that. And look, I don't agree with everything Armando says. Like I even say it on the show sometimes if he spits out a take that I just am kind of like, I don't agree with that. I'll say it. We can agree to disagree on things. That doesn't mean I don't love my boy. I mean, Armando's part of Happy Hour every Friday. He's my guy, but look, we don't agree on everything. Like, for example, Armando and I'm guessing Julian, if he's going to come on, I think he's going to be next after you. Like, they want me to talk about the Hawks endlessly. And I get it. I feel you on that. It's the Kaminga storyline is fun, but dude, I'm a Warriors guy, man. Like this show is the Warriors. Even if the Warriors revert back to what they were in the 2000s, and it's scaring the shit out of me that we're trending that direction. This is a war. That's my team. I will live and die by that team. And we're going to be consistent on this program regardless. Doesn't mean we won't have a little fun. Like Thursday, for example, I believe in Hawks host Bryce Lewis is going to join me for a preview of the game Saturday. I have no idea, by the way, if Stephen Curry is going to be a part of that road trip, because that's going to be a scene in Atlanta. Yeah. I mean, make no mistake about it. That's going to be a circus. And all those fans, they love Kaminga now, so they're going to be out in full force supporting of that game. But it doesn't mean I'm going to dedicate big portions of the show to the Hawks, dude. I mean, look, it sucks that Kaminga's gone. That's my perspective on it. I'm not saying that should be anyone else's. For me, it sucks. I hate that they did that, but he's not a Warrior anymore, man. You know, it's like he's not my guy anymore. Bye. It's like I'll keep following you. I'll keep track, but he's not a Warrior anymore, dude. It's that part sucks, but that's reality. Anyways, and Riz adds in the chat 6 more days till that game. Yeah, should be a good one.
Warriors fans, put the nail in the coffin. Let the doves fly. Let the balloons go. Say goodbye. It's over with, man. He ain't coming back. Let's move on, please. For the love of God, man. Go on the Hawks channel with all that, man. We're Warriors guys over here now, man.
They will.
All right. And man, you know what? I was gonna say, I hope he has a big game against us because we're gonna have trash out on the court. And I really hope the best for him, man. Like, I hope the best for him. I still see the flaws in this game. I hope the best for him, man. But can we talk about Warriors, man? Like, I want to talk about Ge tonight, man. How good has Ge been looking since he's gotten more opportunity? He's letting his game fly, man.
First of all, Tracy McKendall in our chat, Golden Dazer, she was at the Warriors Knicks game tonight. I think you shot me an email. I'm sorry if I didn't get to it. Oh, you wanted my phone number. Sorry about that, Tracy. I didn't get back to you in the email. But she went to the game tonight. Respect. And look, there's a lot of everyone has their own perspective. Everyone has their own opinion and background and thoughts. I get it in the sense that there isn't a lot to be excited for with the Warriors. You're right. Ge Santos, Gooey, that's our boy, and he's playing some great basketball. I don't think I even mentioned his numbers tonight. Ge Santos, 31 minutes, 45 seconds, and he had 20 points in this one, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. One part of his game that I do think he needs to work on a little more, but he's so young that I imagine the improvement will come in time, and that's turnovers. He does make a lot of untimely turnovers, including the final play of tonight's game, where I'm going to lean toward Ge being the cause of that turnover and not Quentin Post being unable to handle the pass. Would you agree with that or no?
Yeah.
Do you remember the final play?
Yeah, I think that was on him.
Yeah, I think that was on Ge for a bad pass. But look, man, he's young and he's finally getting a run. We mentioned Brandin Podziemski's game log just a moment ago, and the very positive numbers he's putting up in March to make up for a disastrous February. Ge Santos, I'm very curious to see what his numbers are on a month-by-month basis, and I will read those to you right now. Ge Santos in the month of March is averaging 35.8 minutes per game. He's only shooting 23.8% from the three-point line. That is not good. He's shooting 40.7% from the field. That's okay. He's averaging 7.2 rebounds. That's very good. 4.3 assists. That's solid. 15 points per game. That's good. And again, this is the first time he's ever getting a run. Well, I guess February he played too. February he averaged 30 minutes a game, 5.7 rebounds, 4 assists. In February he shot 41.3% from deep. So his three-point shot was falling in February, not so much in March so far. And he put up 15.1 points per game in the month of February. So I think what we're seeing here from Ge is when he gets minutes, he produces. And that's a good thing. But you also see the difference, right? When it comes to the assists, Chosen, I don't know if you agree with me on this or not, but when it comes to the assists, you see Ge Santos, who used to play point guard in Brazil, you see the facilitating from him. You see the playmaking from him. And it's easy to discern like what a proper assist is when you watch Ge Santos play. And then Podziemski, who like most of the time he's like just his head is down and he's barreling into a crowd in the key. And then he has to dribble out and then just kind of like, do a shovel pass to someone else. And then the possession starts all over again. Like you don't see the facilitating there nearly as much. He had a few moments tonight in that department that looked good. There was one, again, I mentioned earlier. It was a pass that set up Gary Payton II in the corner for a beautiful 3-point shot. But Ge Santos is much more natural at setting his teammates up. That's what I'm noticing. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on Ge, man? I know you brought him up first.
Well, I would say that I think his 3-point shooting is down because he has more pressure on the shooting now. He was getting a lot of open shots before. And so, like, he was knocking down the open shots, man, like early in the season especially. And so now that there's nobody on the court to take off pressure, I mean, it's a lot harder to drive, and the guys are in his face when he's shooting, so the number's going to drop. But yeah, no, he's a guy who looks to pass. He's a guy who looks to get the team involved. Obviously, Pods is only looking to score. He's like out for his own, and you can see that some of his turnovers is ugly because he'll just like run into the lane and like jump in the air and then look for a bailout pass while he's in like midair, which is like, I don't understand how anybody ever learned basketball like that. But with Ge, he's always like scanning the court, but you can see it comes from him being a natural point guard or point forward in Brazil. I think, Pods at Santa Clara was just their scorer. So that's all he's looking to do is try to put the ball in the bucket. And that was actually one of the things, man, that drove me crazy about when him and Kaminga would be on the court. Not to bring Kaminga up again, but when they'd be on the court, it's kind of hard to like get them involved because Pods is just always trying to do his own thing. And I think that's what drives so many people crazy. And it's just kind of weird that Kerr loves him so much because Kerr usually likes people who share the ball. And I'm not sure how he's a connector when he's not moving the ball. Sometimes he makes and it's weird because every time I get super angry when the game is close and he takes a shot and it's like, dude, why'd you shoot that? Oh, went in. God dang it. Like, all right.
And then there's other moments where it's like, it did not go in. It looked awful.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's floater game. Floater game is, he just got to stop with the floaters, man. He has to stop. It's just not working. He gets it off all the time, but it doesn't go down for him. But with Ge, man, like it just to see his game developing. I think he always had the game, but to see him growing more comfortable in the Warriors system and having that opportunity, I think is big for the future. So I think, he'll be on a team-friendly deal, and I think he can definitely be a piece. I know this is probably a bad comparison for most of y'all, but he kind of reminds me of a Ginobili-esque type player, just a little bit. Yeah. Just the way like he passes, like the way he goes to the lane and how he's looking for the pass, and he can get it off in weird angles. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't even know how he got that ball off, man. He's not as flashy. Obviously, Ginobili was super flashy, man, with his game. He was amazing. But he does kind of remind me of that type of piece.
And Ge Santos, by the way, I say this is good news. He's still only 23 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's young. So Ge, Moses Moody, Podziemski, they're all 23. I feel like I'm guessing, I don't know how old Will Richard is, but I look.
He was a 4-year guy in college, right?
What's up?
Will Richard, I believe, was a 4-year guy in college, so he'd have to be around the same age, 22, 23.
Correct. And he's a rookie this year. So I'm guessing 23, 24. And then you have guys like Quidden Post and Malachi Leons who you would think are super young, but they're like 26, 27. Because I think they both did 2 years of military or a year of military because they're both Dutch. The Dutch.
Okay.
Ge Santos, man, I just want to see him keep getting run because I don't know what his ceiling is. I like the Manu Ginobili comp there. I mean, I'm not seeing him at that point yet because what Manny was doing, a lot of that came with just experience and learning the game and figuring out every aspect of it. And Gee's just so raw. But I could see that. I could see like if a polished Ge Santos turning into that. I like Ge, man. Ge Santos, me like Ge. He's a good player.
Let's hope, man. Let's hope the polished Ge can turn into that. How's
the fam?
Great. I'm actually coaching my daughter's flag football team right now. So that's why I haven't been on here as much, man. Life's been super busy between that and the gym and life, work, everything. It's super busy. But
good busy.
Yeah,
it's
man.
A good busy.
Yes, definitely. Everybody's doing great, man. Thanks for asking.
Of course, man. And Will Richard, by the way, he's younger than I thought. He's 23 years old also. He's only 2 months younger or older, I'm sorry, than Podziemski. So Podziemski turns 24 next February. Will Richard turns 24 Christmas Eve. So about 2 months before that. And then Ge will turn 24 this summer. I forgot when Moses Moody's birthday is, but that's your 23 club. So a bunch of 23-year-olds on this Warriors team. And there you go. Yeah.
Well, I think 3 of those or 4 of those guys are nice pieces, I think, for the future, man. But Definitely
Agreed.
rock with Post going in the future. Hopefully he can learn some from
Yeah.
which call him while he's with us. Will Richard, he looks like he might be, somebody else said he hit the rookie wall. He might be right around the rookie wall right now. And that's all right, man. It happens to young players a long season.
Well, we don't know what.
Right.
Again, you might be right saying that, but he only had 3 shot attempts tonight. There's no way to put up numbers if you're not shooting. And I love that monster dunk he had early in the second half. I love his 3-point stroke, even though it's been a bit inconsistent lately. Tonight he was 1 of 2 from beyond the arc. So his only shot attempt inside the 3-point line was that dunk. That's it. So I feel like
I got to go back
it
and
might
watch
be
that.
a rookie wall. It also just might be like, he has a role and he's being asked to do something very specific right now. And he's obviously saying yes to that. Good news for the Warriors. He's under contract guaranteed through 2029, I believe. It's 2028 or 2029. Guaranteed, making just $2 million a year.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a luxury. That is a massive luxury. Got him on
Yeah,
the
but these young guys, I mean, maybe they can make some magic and hope for another Steph moment. Guys break out with a low contract and able to put better pieces around them going forward. I mean, that's the best hope we can get right now. And some trades going, man. That's that's what I think.
Agreed.
But
yeah, because G4M, I agree with him. Like G4M in the chat saying Will Richard, when he gets the green light, drops 30, and he's done that. I think multiple times, at least once. I remember early in the season,
versus the Kings, right?
Yeah, exactly. That Kings game. It was like the 5th game of the year. It was really early in the season. So Will Richard, way back on November 5th, against the Kings, he dropped 30. He had 18 November 26th against the Rockets, dropped 20 against the Suns December 20th, and then had 21 recently on February 25th against the Grizzlies. So he has these games, and then he has a bunch of other like double-digit scoring games, but those are the highlights on the year. And just the fact that he can do that, and he's shown he can do that, it means that he just needs experience and he needs run. And again, if you could figure it out consistently, that's a good player you've got there, dude. Long wingspan, always gets boards, even if he is on a very limited run minutes wise. Like there are games where he'll play 10, 15 minutes and you look at the box score and it's like, oh, we got 5 rebounds. That's impressive. So you're right. They've got some good young pieces to look forward to, man. Will Richard, I don't know. What are your thoughts on Quinton Post? Is this the final year he's on the Warriors, or do you think he's a long-term asset?
I think he's a long-term asset, and I think, like that I said, it's great. I don't know why I can't remember the guy's name. All of a sudden, we traded Kaminga for.
Oh, Kristaps.
Yeah, Porzingis. Thank you. I think he got a great opportunity.
Sorry. Yeah.
This game. Porzingis. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, great opportunity to like learn a little bit more how to increase in his game. You know what I mean? Just to build up his game from a guy like Porzingis. Because I really like Post. I like his demeanor on the court, man. He's a tough guy out there. And I see that he's trying to post up some more lately, man. Although they don't look for him in the post, they look him off a lot when he does try, but he is trying. And so like adding that to his game and not just trying to shoot threes will be great. You know what I mean? It's something that we're going to need going forward. The one thing that's been driving me crazy.
Go ahead, finish up. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I was going to ask you, man, about Melton lately, man. Melton has been forcing some stuff lately. Like, bro, why do you keep forcing these shots, man? You're shooting us out of the game sometimes, man.
I know.
Like, and I was high on Melton. I was really high on Melton early, and like, I don't know what's going on, man.
I'm still high on him. I don't know if part of the problem is the knee acting up, because instead of seeing his minutes increasing and the restrictions lifting, and like we're not seeing him play back-to-back games, and he's actually like regressing in terms of his activity. I hear what you're saying though. Like it's been a little frustrating. Part of me is wondering, besides health maybe being a concern for Melton, if the pressure of being one of the only dudes on this team who's actually who's actually got real talent
makes sense.
It's just too much pressure on him, and that defenses are squaring up on him and not anyone else. DeAnthony Melton, by the way, is expected to play tomorrow at the Wizards. The Sam Gordon of the San Francisco Chronicle is reporting this. And D'Anthony Melton, in terms of the game log, he's only played 4 games in March, averaging 25.3 points per game, but he is scoring 16 points a game in that limited run. I mean, look, the numbers aren't bad. Like in March, 16 points a game, 33.3% shooting from deep, averaging 4.8 boards, the 2.3 assists. That should be higher for a point guard, but his minutes are also fairly low. Averaged 15 points a game in February. But he only shot 28.8% from deep. That's not good. You definitely need that number to be higher. I don't know, man. Look, long term, if D'Anthony Melton thinks he's suddenly like a $15-20 million a year player again, nice knowing you. Like, I don't think the Warriors are going to give him anything like that to try and keep him. But if Melton can, agree to some sort of team friendly deal, like $8 million a year, maybe $10 million a year, I take a flyer and bring him back. The talent is there. I'm not disagreeing with you either. Like, it has not been consistent. And, for a veteran like him, and good news is he's going to be 28 years old next year. So he's not old. Like, I think if he comes back cheap, he can still be a good, valuable part of this team, I think. Do you want him back? What are your thoughts on that real fast?
I will say, I guess without having another scorer out there, the load is kind of on him. And he is the only guy that can really drive to the rim consistently. But it's just 2 games ago, I'm trying to remember who we were playing, and he put up 2 forced shots at the end of the game. They were both terrible shots, and it's like, dude, pass out the ball. You don't got to force Minnesota. Yeah, you don't got to force it, man. Just stuff like that has been frustrating me. I hope he is willing to come back on a lower contract though, for them to build on next year, because I think he's definitely a valuable piece. And yeah, you're probably right. Just maybe because nobody else is out there.
Maybe. I don't know. That's just me trying to guess.
Yeah.
Just trying to guess what's going on. I don't know.
I do got to say, man, and give you a chance to give me some flack, man. But I do got to say, honestly, even for us tanking, man, I feel like Kerr been coaching his butt off, man, keeping the games looking decent, man. This is the time that you say if a guy can and can't coach, man. We have nobody out there and the game still look decent. I'm expecting us to be getting blown out by 30 every night. And somehow he keeps them looking decent. So come on, man.
So you don't think the trap game theory, you don't believe in the trap game theory? You think this is actually the Warriors coming out and giving the effort? You think Steve Kerr is responsible for the effort?
Look, yeah, I 100% believe in the trap game theory. But we can't say that for every game. Every game's been looking close. Every team's not falling for the trap game. Usually the trap game is really good teams fall for the trap game. Correct. Right? Not every team. So I can't go with that as the excuse. Some nights, but no, man, I think he's been doing a good job. I still would say, man, even for everybody who wants to get rid of him, I don't see many options to replace him, man. But be careful what y'all asking for.
I do. If you're ever going to replace a head coach, this is one of the best times ever to do it because of all the candidates out there. And look, I know the effort looks good out there at times, but they also have lost 7 of 8. And some of these losses have come against teams like Utah, Chicago, New Orleans. I don't know, man.
These are design losses, though. It's like the good gambler, man, that knows how to, do just enough. He's good enough. He does just enough to keep it close, man.
I guess.
So, hey, man, I'm a Kerr guy, man.
I know you are. And so, and it's always a pleasure to have you on, brother. Thank you for taking the time out. I'm glad I'm glad to hear what your excuse was that we haven't heard from you lately. It's because you've been busy with the family. I'm always going to support that 100%. So, yeah. These are tough times, dude. Were you a Warriors fan before Stephen Curry?
Yes.
So
I had season tickets. Man. I was there the night when right after Monte got traded and the crowd wanted to kill Lacob. and Molly tried to come out.
Well, no, that was Chris Mullen's retirement. That was Chris Mullen's jersey retirement night. It was Rick Barry who actually came out and grabbed the mic and told the crowd to calm the F down and that he's a new owner and you got to give him a chance. But that was crazy. Yeah. I love the Warriors. Been a fan for a long time. Well, let me see if I can pull that clip up right now. In case you folks missed that moment, Let me see if I can do a quick Google search to pull that up. Chris Mullin, he had a jersey retirement at Oracle Arena, and as Chosen just mentioned, this was very soon after Monte Ellis was traded. I also did not think it helped Joe Lacob that I'm sorry, I don't think it helped. Yeah, I don't think it helped Lacob that he was grabbing the mic and making a lot of it about him. In case people forgot, like that was part. I think that was part of the reason why they booed too, is because they didn't appreciate the ego. Here it is, right here. Hold on, here it is. Let's. Josie, you want to stick around for this real fast?
Yeah.
All right. And Daniel Bordegray in our chat, thank you for the $2 donation, writing that she is happy they lost, so they could be closer to a better draft pick. As Chosen mentioned, right? The bright side. You're being positive here. More optimism. Here is we're going back to, I believe, 2012. I think that's the year when this took place. I think maybe it was 2011, but I think it was somewhere in that range. Right?
I thought it was 2010, but
it might be. This was uploaded in 2012, but that doesn't mean that's what the date is.
okay.
Nonetheless, this is back when Comcast Sportsnet was running Warriors games. This is Chris Mullin's jersey retirement night, and I believe they were doing this at halftime of the game.
Yeah.
And man, they were booing Joe Lacob mercilessly. And then Rick Barry had to grab the mic and be like, "Calm the F down, everybody. Here, take it away."
Tonight, now that we got that over with, tonight is about two things: embracing history and respect. The Warriors ownership, the current Warriors, our owners, think it's very important to embrace history. Something that hasn't been done in the past, perhaps, as well. And when you speak of Warriors history, there's no one.
It was so crazy live.
As the greatest fans in the NBA, as everyone stated, sometimes change is inevitable and it's going to work out just fine. With your support and patience, and use that passion in the right direction. This thing is going in the right way. I've got great confidence in Joe, Mark Jackson, and everything will work out just fine.
Oh.
Just a little bit of patience. Use that passion.
Man.
Come on, Rick.
Hey, 1 second here. Come on, people. You fans are the greatest fans in the world. As everybody said that. Show a little bit of class. This is a man that I've spent some time talking to. He is going to change this franchise. This is crazy. Seriously. Come on. You're doing yourself a disservice. All of the wonderful accolades being said to you, for you to treat this man who is spending his money to do the best that he can to turn this franchise around, and I know he's going to do it. So give him the respect he deserves.
Rick was right.
Oh my! Yeah, he was actually right. It was crazy. Yeah,
Rick was right. Listen to the man. I listen to the man. I run my opinions by that man. Yeah, dude, that was crazy though, man. This was, and again, I can't remember what it was that was uploaded in 2012, but you're right. It could have been 2010.
Because it was only
this was in March
30, right?
What's up?
Was it? Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because he mentioned Mark Jackson too, and that was Mark Jackson's that was his first year coaching the Warriors. So
oh yeah, because we had that one. Was it Keith Smart?
Yeah,
who we had before that? Oh,
previous coach, correct.
Terrible.
Funny.
Terrible.
So you were there.
Oh yeah, I was there. I was there, man. It was It was ruthless in that stadium, man. I was one of the ones booing him. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, "How dare you trade Monte, man?" You know. Little did we know, man. Dude had it. He had it all mapped out, man. They had something good going. So my bad for booing them.
Oh man, I just hope that Joe Lacob has not lost his fire, because lately it doesn't seem like he gives much of a shit anymore. Yeah, let's hope he still cares. Because if Joe Lacob, what's up?
He's got to get a good team around him again. He had a lot of good veteran voices around him back then, man. And he trusted them. He leaned on them, and it worked out. He's just got to get a great team around him again.
Right.
You know,
all right.
A lot of young guys seemingly in the organization. All right. Have a good one, man.
You too, man. Come back soon. Thank you. That is the great Chosen, who has become our de facto representative for those of you that still think Steve Kerr should keep his job and is doing a good job. All right, let's get Julian on the show, and then we'll start to wrap it up. Julian, joining us from the East Coast, where supposedly the weather is crazy. Is that right?
Yeah, it's cold for no reason after it was about 80 degrees for a week, and now I feel the air coming into my apartment. So,
dude, I looked at a weather radar of this. Like, I feel like the country is experiencing two different seasons. Like the East Coast and the Midwest is just being battered all winter with these gnarly storms, frigid temps, and then you get the western half of the country, like the Mountain West, the Southwest, the West Coast, and you got people freaking out, like thinking that global warming is full steam in our faces now with this very unusual warm winter, which it didn't feel like we had winter at all. And like today, like it's in the 80s, some places 90s, 100. They've got heat waves in Arizona, but where you're at, I saw the radar today, and I never saw the color red, which represents like the heaviest type of rain imaginable, and that's going to be coming right above you in the next 24 hours. So
well, you know more than me. I just get alerts on my phone that says expect rain, but I'm all right. So,
what's on your mind, brother? Good to see you.
Well, I want to give props to Chosen. That's his name, Chosen, not Chosen. That's how it's spelled. But props to him.
The extra O in there. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He's never corrected me though when I said Chosen.
That was a great call. It was very, very civil. He did make a lot of great points. Analyzed some good players. So I want to give him his props. I'll just say that I think that if teams are not falling for the trap game, the Jazz and Bulls, they didn't fall for the trap game. So we'll see how this season continues to play out. And it's clear that Steve Kerr is still coaching to win. And so this is definitely not a tank, because he's calling timeouts, trying to stop momentum, playing the players that he believes can win, and getting very upset. And that's kind of one of the points that I want to jump on and talk about. For me, and I was really upset at it, so the tone of my voice now doesn't sound too upset because time has gone by. But for me, the reason why I know that we've probably seen coaches more angry, like in college, and we've even seen Steve Kerr scream at pods. But for me, it was the situation of it and the context. And the context is that you're down $194 million of contracts for this game, and like for you to get so intensified with, like, I understand coaching. But you have to understand, Podziemski is the only first-round pick that played tonight for the Warriors. So, and I'll get to that later when we talk about his numbers. And the fact that it wasn't Will Richard's fault. The ball was thrown over his head. We have to remember, Will Richard is a college champion. Yeah, he does. He's a rookie NBA, but he knows how to play basketball.
Correct.
He's had enough experience in his lifetime, 4 years of college, all of high school, and so on and so forth, where he does not need to be berated for what the coach perceived to be a dumb play. Like, oh, you should have just grabbed that ball and let it go out of bounds. Because when you're in the momentum, and I'm pretty sure that Steve Kerr could relate, because that's why you hire ex-players to be coaches, because they actually played the game instead of some guy that has a chalkboard and just analyze it, is that when you're going 100 miles per hour in that moment, you can't think of who's behind you, what's going on. You're thinking like you're just making instincts happen. So a ball was thrown over his head. He's going full speed. He's doing the right thing as far as I'm giving my all and hustling to try to save this. So to also berate him in that manner, coming out on the court, screaming at him, pointing at him, like where even the opposing players and coaches are seeing. And it wasn't just one time, because when the timeout happened, Steve Kerr is still yelling at him. He was yelling at Will-Richard as if the way that he yells at referees when they make a bad call and he wants to get ejected, when he just keeps on going at them and at them. It was two glaring incidences for a player that was just doing the right thing that was not caused by him. And the more glaring things, because this always touches back on what we talk about, the development with Moody and Thou, the person that we shall not name, he is, but Moody and other players, is that this is a toxic environment. And part of what I believe what's in store for the Warriors in the future is not just the karma of what's happening, but these players, it's a clique. They all know each other. They all speak. And they're seeing the last several years, the word is getting out. And when you see a coach embarrass a player like that on national TV, a rookie that's trying to do the right thing, and the double standard, you say it all the time, Cyrus, and there's a certain fan base that does not understand how the double standard is hurting the Warriors' present and its future, because they're seeing that, hey, there's a guy that is making worse mistakes. Like Brandin Podziemski was passing to Ghost tonight. Did you see that, Cy? He had a few passes where
yes,
yeah, you were mute for a second.
I know. Sorry.
Where no one was there, and we've seen it for 3 years. Like, okay, well, like he can get away with murder. That double standard. People are talking. Podcasts are talking, the NBA players. So when it comes down to Stephen Curry retires, Draymond Green retires, and you have cap space, and you think that you're going to sign, let's say Jokic or whomever the top player is, it's like, oh yeah, we got cap space. They're going to come here. No, they're not. They're not going. Even when Steve Kerr is gone from this organization, they will remember. This is going to linger for about 5 to 10 years. They're going to remember how players were treated. And even if it's a new face, it's like a restaurant or any business that says under new management, you still have the reviews of the old, unless you completely change and tear down the whole system and move locations even. It takes a while. And this is the things that I think the true fans are upset at, because it's not that we want to hate the coach or hate the player that has been his golden child, is that you've kind of like stir that up, but also the fan base that constantly has attacked. So it's a cause and reaction. So this is the reaction. And you made a point earlier, you said something. He's like, oh, I don't think Pods is garbage. I can prove that he's garbage. So in his last 18 games, no one can disagree that he is the number one option playing the most minutes for Steve Kerr without Stephen Curry. He, like on paper, when you read his box score, he's averaging 15 points per game, 7 rebounds, 4.5 assists. Oh, wow, that's pretty good in 32 minutes. But his true shooting percentage is 54%. And if you ask, is 54% considered good? And it says it is considered below average to poor, often indicating inefficient scoring. So those that says, oh, he's 25 or 7 rebounds, he is showing you what the Warriors are going to look like with him as the leader and the head of this team. 32 minutes a night in the last 18 games, inefficient scoring, empty calories, empty stats, and I think we won 5 out of those 18 games. So that is the real context of those that are constantly trying to defend this guy, because that's where the double standard comes. Like, no, this is you're reading into something that's fake right now. And
just to add some additional context there, real fast, Julian, that true shooting number you brought up, it factors free throw shooting into it, and Podziemski That's been a blatant flaw of his game. He's one of the team's worst free throw shooters. And one stat I did not bring up when we were talking about Podziemski a moment ago.
Real quick, so I just want to address 49er minded. It's not 54% from the floor. It's a combination of all your shooting percentages and what that impact is. So 54% true shooting percentage. So overall, that's below average to poor for the league.
And again, true shooting is a number like I don't look at that number that much, but I don't largely because it's a weird formula where they factor free throw shooting into it. Brandin Podziemski in the month of March, who's played 7 games, averaging 35.7 minutes per game, shooting just 64.7% from the free throw line. And again, on the team total, here I can tell you right now where he ranks. In terms of free throw percentage, Brandin Podziemski on the season is the only. Okay, let me put this to you in a way that I think provides the best context imaginable. The only players on the team worst at free throw shooting than Brandin Podziemski is Draymond Green, GP2, and Ge Santos. So Pods is 4th worst at 75.5%. I'm done. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. And so I was reading Chose. I was going to respond to Chose. He said double standard, but I think everyone can understand the double standard we're talking about, and maybe I don't have to explain it in the chat.
It's just the favoritism. It's just the fact that Steve Kerr treats one person one way, treats another person another way. There is no consistency,
consistent
leadership. Yeah.
Like Will Richard, for example, we've seen him drop 30. We haven't seen Pods drop 30 in his 3-year career, even though he's getting consistent every night, 30 minutes per game since his rookie season. And we don't, like people said, oh, well, Will Richard was on the floor for 29 minutes and he only took 3 shots. He needs to do better. No, that's what the coach tells him to do. If he was allowed to take 15 shots, you might get more than 25 points. It might look similar. He might be a better passer. He might be a better ball handler than Brandin Podziemski, but we don't know. And, like one thing that we can't dismiss is that, like, Chosen actually stated it perfectly. And something I noticed as well, when Pods drives in, I think they actually practice that play because every time he drives in, he doesn't know what's going on behind him. He does a 360 and he passes out. There's always, like not always, but for the most part, there is someone in his line of sight. So I do think they practice the play of, hey, when Pods is driving, someone needs to cut and rotate around to be chest to his back. So when he does do that 360 spin, he'll have someone to pass to. So Pods doesn't know who he's passing to. He just knows that if I do this, someone should be there. And I think they practice that, which also shows more that Steve Kerr is leaning into something that someone can do, because it's always inexplicable that someone's there right at the right time. I saw Will Richard cut and was directly to Pods back and pass it out. So yeah, that's his go-to move. But we don't know what Will Richard's capable of, so I'm not going to blame him for only taking 3 shots in 29 minutes. And here's another thing, people that say that people have bad games if they go 0 for 4 or anything like that. Jamal Murray played yesterday and went 1 for 14. You have to expand your vision across the league. Bad games happen all the time, people. Yeah. To superstars since the dawn of history. It's just not the players that you hate or people that you think you should do more. It happens all the time. So
side note, that Lakers Nuggets game was fantastic basketball. Like what a joy to just have a Saturday late afternoon with that game on your TV. I don't know if you folks had a chance to enjoy it. That was a thriller. And you're absolutely right. Jamal Murray played like shit. He fouled out, I think, at the start of overtime of that game. It's Jamal Murray laid an egg. He laid a big stinking egg. Speaking of eggs, the Hawks are a bird. They lay eggs, and they're probably going to be laying a big ass one right on Steve Kerr's face Saturday. Armando Laura in our chat, the professor dropping $4.99. Thank you, sir. saying Hawks fans need to start Aaron Turner and Anthony Lamb chants. Side note on this note, Armando Laura going viral on Twitter by simply posting a picture of Steve Kerr and Anthony Lamb together on the court with Steve Kerr in a warm embrace of the forward, the two-way man that never saw NBA basketball again after that season, the poster child of everything that's wrong with Steve Kerr's personnel decisions. By the way, Julian, do you want to hear the clip one more time? There's actually a high-quality version now of Steve Kerr trying to not trying. He expressed regret, and I don't know if there was an apology in there, but you want to hear his rationale one more time for losing his shit and acting like a raging lunatic on Will Richard?
I'm down. Go ahead.
This is a higher quality version. You don't have to turn up the volume. I'll leave the Armando's thing up there for a second. You don't have to turn up the volume to listen to this one. This is courtesy of NBC Sports Bay Area. They posted a high quality audio version and video on their Twitter account. And this was Steve Kerr. And I have texts on my phone from multiple people throughout the night going, you better talk about this. Like people are jumping on this. It wouldn't surprise me if the news cycles picked this up and ran with it tomorrow. Steve Kerr explaining his unhinged moment in the game tonight.
Looked like you might have been upset with Will Richard. I think off one play on the fast break early.
Yeah. Well, I thought he could have called the ball. It was a bad pass from BP, and BP should have made a good pass. Will's got a dunk, turns into a 5-point swing. I was mad at Will because I thought he could have corralled the ball and not thrown. I thought he was trying to make an around the back pass for a score. I might be wrong. From my angle, it looked like he could have corralled the ball and made a jump stop. And I was really upset with the whole team for the second quarter. That's where the game got away from us a little bit. Too many turnovers, too many careless plays. Will had just gotten an offensive foul pushing off. So I was upset with him, but, I kind of regret losing my composure a little bit there because, it's my job to keep the guys going, especially when we're without so many players. But, you've got to, that's a big part of winning a game like this is making good decisions and understanding how valuable the ball is. It started with Brandon's pass to him. He tried to lead him instead of just hitting him. And then he put Will in a tough spot. I probably shouldn't have gotten as mad as I was.
All right, so no apology. Kerr acknowledging that he made a mistake in hindsight makes me wonder if Raymond Ritter or somebody pulled him aside after the game and was like, hey, so Steve, I don't know if you're aware of this, but that little moment you had tonight where you got pissed off at Will, a lot of people didn't think that was a good look, and then maybe coached him up. Maybe not. I have no idea, but that was not a good look nonetheless. I saw someone in the chat also say that Kaminga's game, his last game with the Hawks, he played like shit. And I'm not going to agree with that sentiment either. I think Kaminga had just 4 field goal attempts in that game, and in very limited minutes. The scoring was not there, but he did grab 9 boards. They did win the game, which I believe is the goal, the objective. So I don't know why people.
Yeah, sorry, so mind if I address something real quick?
Please, yes.
So
I don't mind at all.
Most 100% of these guys, anyone that's saying that in the chat, did not watch the game. And there is a video by Swish Culture that broke the game down. But regardless, I know that Kaminga and Warriors are tied, and it might be a little bit tiresome to bring them up all the time. But if you go on X and if you just type in Jonathan Kaminga's name, during that day that they believed he had a bad game, I've never seen such hate for someone and people coming out of the woodwork like they were waiting to say something.
Yeah,
And,
it's weird. It's
weird.
weird.
And there's a lot of fake profiles where they'll have Kaminga's face next to Jonathan Wiseman's face, and they're just waiting, like their whole
Johnny Wiseman.
What's his name? I forgot.
You're good. You're good.
James Wiseman. And yeah, it's so there is that cause and effect. If there's such great hate for someone, and where is the hate coming from, really, guys? Is that he didn't bow down to a coach that you are emotionally attached to. And people say that, well, he he should have passed out, he's not the only player ever in history to take a contested jump shot and miss someone that passed out. You see it all the time from the greatest, from the middle of the pack people. It's just like every small thing that they could find, they will. And choosing, I'm gonna call you out, Swish culture. All the, like, Desario was there, Chosen was there, Foul Sharpen was there. You went into the comment section. You're waiting for a Kaminga video non-related to Warriors, and somehow you found that video and you had to express yourself as, this is Kaminga showing what he always did in the Warriors. He's always injured, or this is who he is. 0 for 4. He came off the arrest of his knee. It was 10 days, and if you look into what they actually did, he did no on the court work. He did nothing. He didn't shoot. He didn't run. He didn't do anything. And so that game against the Nets was a practice game for him, and they told him to take it easy, which is why if you actually watched the game, you didn't see him do those incredible like jogging sprints. And what he did do during the game was he played great defense. 9 rebounds, had a couple assists. He did have one bad. He had 2 turnovers, but one of them was like really bad. But other than that, they won the game. And Cyrus, you're right. And I sent you the clip, but I'll just let everyone know here that as far as the contrast from Steve Kerr and the double standard and everything that you see here coming from what Kaminga is in the Hawks. Dyson Daniels, one of their most efficient guys, one of their leaders. I believe he should be the starting point guard, even though he's like small forward and everything there. But he said that Kaminga is a vocal leader, and he's really changed.
Culture, by the way, will be a guest on the show. We haven't. First of all, Swish is one of the hardest guys to get a hold of. Case in point, has no phone right now, so the only way we've been communicating lately is with email. And we're gonna make it happen. Swish is just he's got a crazy life. He was in Jamaica for a while, helping with the rebuild of that entire country. I think he's got some Jamaican roots himself, which is why he was so invested in that tragedy. But Swish and I were going to do a show soon. I love Swish, and I'm glad he's been covering.
Amazing. I don't think I've ever heard his voice actually. Or I have it on the video, so that'd be great. That'd be a good show.
Yeah, agreed. And
just to finish up, I was going to say that Dyson Daniels said that Kaminga is a vocal leader, and he's changed the aspect of the team. The sideline reporter has said the same thing. So yes, Kaminga's only played 4 games, but there's a reason why they're on an 8-game winning streak, and they've won they're 10-1 in the last 11 or.
They're hot. And look, part of it is strength of schedule. I want to be real about this. Like, part of it is strength of schedule, but who gives a shit? I mean, just because your strength of schedule is weak doesn't mean that you shouldn't celebrate an 8-game winning streak, winning 10 of 11. No, ever since they acquired JK, they've been on fire, and they look like a team that could be very entertaining. At the same time, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that they're going to get out of the first round of the playoffs. I don't think that's going to happen. But there's also no expectation for that. They're not supposed to be getting out of the first round of the playoffs this year. And the Eastern Conference is just good enough at the top, where if you're on the bottom half and you enter the playoffs as one of those lower seeds, you are not expected to win. Like the teams expected to get out of the first round of the playoffs in the East are going to be Boston, Detroit, New York, and who's the fourth one? Hold on, there's one.
Well, after what we saw of New York today, I'm not too sure.
They will, but that's how bad the East is. Like New York is still going to be expected to get out. Oh, and Cleveland.
I wonder why Mikal Bridges only played 21 minutes tonight. That was strange. Mikal Bridges, he only played 21 minutes tonight.
Why?
He was treated as if they didn't give up 4 first-round picks for him, or was it 5? I'm not sure.
They gave up a lot for him. Why did he only play 21 minutes? I did not. You're right. 21 minutes, 23 seconds. He was only 1 of 6 from deep. The Knicks were not shooting the ball well tonight at all. And again, this goes back to the whole trap game theory where teams just don't rise up when they see the Warriors come to town. The Knicks were just 10 of 32 from beyond the arc. Mikal Bridges, the poster child of bad 3-point shooting tonight, just 1 of 6, 7 points, 3 rebounds. But that is weird to me.
A player can have a bad game, like 3 for 10, 1 for 11.
Well, did he get hurt? Because I was constantly puzzled in this game, especially in the second half, seeing Landry Shamet play defense on Podziemski possession after possession. Landry Shamet is not known for being a good defender, at least not to my knowledge. I've never associated him with being elite on the defensive side of the basketball. That is a spot where I expected Mikal Bridges, and that is weird. I wonder what happened there. I mean, I don't care that much because it's the Knicks. That's not my team that I cover, but it is a little bizarre.
Well, going back to the Warriors, I wanted to point out that because a few like last week you were excited. Like, let's talk about Leon's and Nate Williams, and I said there's a reason why there's a reason why these guys are 26 or 27 years old,
two-way players,
and not in the league.
Yeah,
and Malavai Leons showed you why he's not in the league.
Yeah,
so today.
Right. I haven't given up on LJ Cryer yet, but
no,
Malavai,
LJ Cryer, he's a guy because one
might be. But Malavai's stock plummeting.
Yeah.
Nate Robinson's stock plummeting. It's now official. They're penny stocks at this point.
No, LJ Cryer is a guy because he had a great college career. He's 24 years old. You saw him in the summer league. You see that like he just needs a team that's going to give him a chance. So there's a lot of undrafted, but he's not some kind of drifter that just rolled out of bed that's been trying all his life. Like this is his rookie year. This is the first time he's get the shot. So I think he's a guy. I'm not sure if he's going to get the long-term shot with the Warriors, but it could be a Jeremy Lin type of situation where he was on the Warriors and he ends up balling out for the Knicks, get a contract for the Rockets, and have a decent career. Not going to say we're going to have Cryer sanity, but I'm just saying some kind of like Ryan Rollins, like, oh well, he just needs a chance someplace else. But I was going to say Nate Williams, he's fighting for his life because he gave OG Anunoby that bloody nose, and they still letting him play when it was like dripping on his lip because Nate Williams just had a kid. So he's literally like when he hits the floor, he's literally fighting for his family's livelihood. That's why he's so aggressive.
Respect.
But other than that, like I said, Pods was the only first round pick that played, and I think not any line of somebody's like, oh, we were playing the bigs, we're up 20. No, we're up 20 because the Knicks didn't know who to guard.
And the urgency wasn't there. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I also want to add to that, saying that
the urgency wasn't there. Yeah,
aggressiveness is a huge variable in all sports, especially the NBA. Though it's who wants it more. And again, there's no stats for that, right? That's where analytics will fail you because it's not going to measure which human being on that basketball court wants it more. And what's happening repeatedly, the reason why these are trap games is because human nature is kicking in for a lot of these other teams. They see the Warriors without Steph, without Jimmy, and even without Dre, and they think to themselves, oh, come on, we can't take these guys seriously. Most of them are not paying attention to nuance either. A lot of them get scouting reports, but they're not like canvassing the scores each and every night. Like they're not up to date with what's going on with the Golden State Warriors. They're usually relying on their coaching staff to give them scouting reports, to give them a game plan, and they adjust accordingly. And so they're just not coming in with that urgency of like the Warriors being a team that's still hungry, that still has some talent. They're still an NBA team. They're not the Wizards, which does beg the question, how are the Warriors going to look tomorrow night when they're in the nation's capital? But you're right. It's a combination of things, including what you said, and also the fact that other teams look at the Warriors now and they're like, oh, you could
tell that there's no scouting because I've never seen Brandin get fouled on a 3-point shot before. Maybe it's happened. I'm not sure. But he got fouled three times.
Yeah.
So that tells me that you're not doing scouting. You're just rolling out of bed and coming and you're just reacting to any pump fake because I've never seen Pods get those calls.
Yeah.
Before.
Cemetery Larry in the chat saying 8 free throws. It was 9. It was 9 first quarter free throws because he kept getting fouled. And Podziemski, and look, I don't care if you're part of my team or not. I'm never going to be okay with that head whip bullshit. And Podziemski's starting to do that, trying to bait referees into blowing the whistle. I'm not a fan of that, man. Like Pods, for what it's worth, I doubt the message is getting to you. Please stop. Like, you're better than that. And he's doing that almost every possession now where he just whips his head back and it looks like he's getting hit. And I don't think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is that extreme. I don't know if he looks like James Harden out there with the head whips. Not a fan of that.
Reminds me of is that
Yeah.
We don't get to see, like, for example, when like Brian Scalabrine, if you ever watch him like school regular people, he's doing moves that you would never even thought that he can do. JaVale McGee went over to Australia and is, crossing people over, hitting step back threes and jump shots. All NBA players can mimic what you see of the best players. Like, so say for someone like Pat Spencer, he can mimic what SGA does, like when they say we're close to LeBron. So right now, Pods is like the player that shouldn't be doing these things, but since he has such a green light, he's mimicking all the great things that you see. Like, I can go on a basketball court and do pump fakes 1, 2, 3 and fade back like Kobe did. Doesn't mean I should, but you can mimic. And these are professional basketball players, so a lot of them can mimic the top thing. So that hook of the arm, that leaning of the left. Like, there's times where, and I'm going to give him credit, there's times if you show the play of Jalen Brunson left-handed and you show the play of Brandin Podziemski, it looks very similar. But it's like that razor thin line that you mentioned as far as what makes a player great and what makes them at the bottom of the bench. And that's when coaching comes in. Is like, okay, well, you're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed. Like, I'm pretty sure Andre Drummond, for example, he's taken threes recently. I'm pretty sure he could have taken threes his whole life. Kevon Looney could have been dribbling the ball up the court, taking step backs and doing a whole bunch of things. So there's skill sets that we don't see from players because they're a notch below, but they can mimic what you see with your eyes from other top players like James Harden, SGA, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, all the greats. You're muted.
You're right. Thank you. Before you go, Julian, Hamza in the chat has been spamming. I've seen every single one of them. I had to wait for the right time to bring it up. Asking what our thoughts are on Steve Kerr saying he expects Stephen Curry to return within the next week or two. Hasn't he been saying this for like a month and a half though? I mean, I don't think it means shit. I don't think it guarantees Steph's coming back. I don't think there's anything to really say to it. It's just, Steve Kerr is just repeating what the medical staff is telling him. And I don't think anyone has any idea when Steph's coming back. That would be my best guess. Do you have any guess on that, Julian, before you go?
I would just say, believe people. What they show you is that they say something, and when it comes to that date, it doesn't happen. So I wouldn't bank on it. I wouldn't say he's coming back in 5 games or not. Just have to wait for their last thing I wanted to point out, where you show that clip of Pod saying this, he looks at this as an opportunity.
That was ugly. That was not a good look.
Yeah, and I know most people, like, because I'm very spiritual, and also I read a lot of psychology and philosophy. For me, energy is real, and that just speaks more to the kind of I think he's bringing bad energy overall to the team dynamic and chemistry.
Well, it's not just that, Julian. Yeah. Like that comment. Never mind the fact that comment just really was it. I don't know if it was a lack of self-awareness that revealed. I don't know if it was just a lack of general thought for the team. But the other thing that's ugly on Podziemski's part is there are times where Kerr pulls him from games and he's on the bench longer than he probably wants to, and the team's succeeding without him on the court, and you see him at the bench moping. Like there are a lot of moments where you see Podziemski like more upset that he's not playing than caring about the success of the team. It's right in front of us, man. I'm not making this shit up. And between like him moping over not playing sometimes, and then the comment there that like, there's a silver lining to the injuries that he gets to get more opportunities. It's like, what are you like? Are you not aware of how ridiculous you sound saying this and how individualistic this sounds? That like you play for a team. I heard like Reggie Miller tonight kept saying this repeatedly, and again, Reggie and Steve Kerr used to be broadcast partners on TNT, so there's no surprise that Reggie had the pro Steve Kerr bias and slant in his broadcast. But I hear him and other people bring up Brandin Podziemski's leadership, and my response always is, what leadership? Like what is he exhibiting out there which defines leadership? He's about him. He's playing for his next contract, man. Like, that's
Did
all
you see
I
the graphic they put up tonight? It said Pod's prowess. Did you see that graphic?
I didn't see it, but it wouldn't surprise me. I believe you.
Yeah, they said Pod's prowess, and they were talking about his points so far entering the fourth quarter.
I hope, I love what Chosen's spin was tonight. And in case if you missed it from earlier, one of our audience members, Chosen, he loves Steve Kerr. It's also super civilized every time he comes on. It's a healthy debate. And Chosen's positive spin was that the Podziemski minutes could hopefully lead to an increase in valuation so the team can trade him. And I pray that's right. I pray that there is at least a sliver of truth in that optimism, because maybe, I don't know if I'm being cynical here. I don't know if I'm being very suspicious of the Warriors with a take like that, but I don't think they have any intention of moving him. I think as long as Steve Kerr's in control, Podziemski's his boy. Yeah. That's my fear. And all Steve Kerr's trying to do is just make this Podziemski's team. It's crazy shit, man.
Well, Cyrus, if that's the case, then we are banking on that there are scouts and GMs across the league of just 30 teams that are less intelligent in basketball than myself, even choosing yourself and the casual fan, that they believe that Pods is what is more than what I said earlier, that true shooting percentage. Like, they can't look up a stat. They're just going with their gut, like Steve Kerr. Like, their gut tells them, like, oh, this is it. So we're banking on that there are stupid GMs and stupid scouts in this limited 30 team, that the best people are not hired for the job, and they're making hundreds of thousands, maybe $1 million, to be these scouts and GMs. So we're banking on someone being stupid. And
it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I saw someone in the chat say, well, 25 points is better than 2 points, and I'm guessing the two, which is no shit.
And a win is better than a loss.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's a Captain Obvious statement. But again, when you look at the numbers tonight, like, Podziemski got those 25 points on 15 field goal attempts, and then Will Richard, who had 5 points tonight, did it on 3 field goal attempts. And the entire argument I keep trying to make here is, I want to see other players get these opportunities. I guess I'm of the belief, and it's a very strong belief I have, I'm confident in this belief, that we have seen Podziemski's ceiling. Right? Like, I think some people are still delusionally grasping to the hope that Podziemski is going to develop into something more. Good luck with that thought. Good luck with that wishful thinking. I don't see a player who's going to take leaps and bounds from what we see now. Like, what you see with Podziemski is what you're going to get. Well, will there be improvements in terms of like little minuscule measurements? Maybe, because, experience is something that he still needs. I mean, he's only in his 3rd year, but he's also getting like full-time minutes as a 3rd-year player. Like, he's been playing extensively since his rookie year. And again, the leaps and bounds that you may hope to see from this kid, good luck with that. I have zero belief that that's the case. And I'm sorry if another team's GM is watching and going, ooh, I'm out.
What do you think about this? Shout out to Sharia. She brought up a point. Jared McCain on OKC, back up to SGA. He's absolutely killing it. And he only went for a Houston 1st-round pick.
Oh, that's frustrating.
That begs the kind of question of, like, what kind of conversations are happening in the Warriors office that we like, could we have given up maybe a pick that would have been not that valuable, not the 2026 one, but just one pick for Jared McCain, 21 years old. And like, can we agree that Jared McCain is better than Brandin Podziemski and would have probably better future?
To me, McCain is less of an indictment on the Warriors not going after him, because I wouldn't personally have given a 1st-round pick for him either. But it is an indictment to me on the other 28 teams or whatever 20-odd teams there are who could have used him, who don't have a dearth of a talent at the point guard position or at the guard position. Like, the Warriors have too many guards. Like, I'm personally tired of guards. Like, I don't think that's what the Warriors need more of. It's actually the last thing I think they need. I agree with your premise wholeheartedly that Jared McCain, like, the Thunder got a steal. like Dork Elvis. That's Daryl Morey's nickname, the GM of the Philadelphia 76ers. Why is he called Dork Elvis? Because he looks like a dork, and I don't even know where the Elvis part came from, but it's a great nickname. They call him Dork Elvis. Grossly overrated as a GM. He got robbed in that trade. How do you give a player of that magnitude away for a first-round pick that's likely going to be at the very end of the draft and not a high first-round pick? At least that's what I think got the trade was for. And if you're one of these other teams, how are you not taking advantage of a player with that talent and offering a first-round pick instead of letting the Thunder, the rich, just get richer? But at the same time, it's like I didn't think of the Warriors in that formula. Like I just didn't think that's the player they needed. I'm not disagreeing with you though that he would be an improvement on Podziemski either.
Yeah, and you mentioned we have too many guards, and earlier you mentioned about re-signing Melton. Honestly, I wouldn't re-sign Melton. I would try to not sign any guards this whole entire offseason, because that's just going to lend. If Steve Kerr is still the coach, or maybe Dunleavy is fired, Steve Kerr becomes a GM, and Nick Kerr becomes the coach of the Warriors. But regardless, I don't want the option for Steve Kerr, if he's a coach, to play Melton at the 2 or Melton at the 3. He's a point guard. He needs to be backup somebody. He should not be playing next to Steph or playing the small forward. Same thing with CP3. Cyrus, you know this. The year before Warriors got CP3, the Warriors had the best starting 5 in the NBA, but they had one of the worst benches. The purpose of getting Chris Paul was to fix the non-Steph minutes. Instead of doing that, Steve Kerr decided to play Chris Paul, 6-foot aging point guard, next to Steph Curry, instead of trying to roll out your best starting 5 that you had last year of the league and try to fix your bench. You did not try to fix your bench. So I want all the tools to be taken away from Steve Kerr. I think GP2 still has a year, but I don't want GP2 to play anymore. I love his energy. Udonis.
What do you mean he has a year? What do you mean? You mean like you think he's under contract for next season?
Is he? I thought he had a player option or something. Okay, great. Well, let him go or sign. Like Udonis Haslem, I think his last game as a Heat, he put up some good numbers. But for years he decided, you know what, my role is better being the player coach, and you can make 3 to 4 to 5 to 7 million doing that. GP2 is a great best friend to everybody. He uplifts the chemistry, but GP2 should not play regardless if he still has some skill or not, because he needs to be set aside and let others play. We need to get rid of all these crutches. No more, Melton, he really did good against us when he was on the Grizzlies years ago. Maybe we can recapture that. He's like, you could tell he's lost a bit of a step from before his ACL injuries. Just let him go. And I'll let you go, Si. I'm just going to mention one last thing. Steve Kerr said that he's never seen anything like this as far as injuries before. And that goes to the energy of the team. Something is off, and you can see it, you can feel it, and a lot of the haters keep on coming to chat and on X, just like, oh, Kaminga's always injured. Kaminga got injured on this team. Thank God he's away. But something is truly amiss with this team. And even if they do get a lottery, I don't have a good feeling about jumping up and getting a miracle number 1 pick like the Mavs or the Cavs did that time. It's just a lot of like decisions and bad choices that are leading to bad energy as well. So there's a reason why everyone keeps on getting hurt. But that's all I got to say, Si. Enjoy your night. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you next time.
Sounds good. That's Julian joining us from the East Coast. He didn't drop the mic like he normally does. I had to actually end the screen there. The only thing I want to add to that is I'm just tired of hearing Steve Kerr's thoughts. I'm just tired of his opinions. I'm tired of what he has to say next. I don't want to hear Steve Kerr say anything anymore. Like, I'm so done with him being the voice of the Warriors. It's exhausting. Just a whole lot of nothing coming out of that mouth, man, over and over and over. Just bullshit. Just literally like corporate PR talk. That's all that ever comes out of that dude's mouth. And it's all self-serving, all of it. It's annoying. All right, let's go through the scoreboard and wrap it up on a Sunday night. We're back literally tomorrow It's Warriors and Wizards. I am personally very curious to see how the Warriors respond to tonight's loss, playing literally the worst team in the NBA. I don't think it's even up for debate. But there were some other games in the association for this Sunday, March 15th, the day after Stephen Curry's birthday. Happy belated birthday again to Wardell, now 38 years old. And we go through the league, wrapping things up. We start in OKC, where the Thunder took care of a flailing, nosediving Minnesota Timberwolves squad. 116-103 the final. The Thunder improving to 53-15. Chet Holmgren, 21 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Julius Randle, the son of a bitch. All I needed from Julius Randle Friday night was 8 more points from him. I had a 6-player ticket. I had the under on Brandin Podziemski nailed. I had the over, the under. It was the under on Brandin Podziemski assists. I'm sorry. Check. I had Anthony Edwards getting the over on points, rebounds, assists. Check. I gotta look up the rest of my ticket because I forgot. I'm really incensed because if you nail 6 out of 6, you're winning like 100 times what you put down. I was about to have a very nice night. Except for Julius effing Randle. Ge Santos, over on 2.5 assists. Check. Anthony Edwards, making more than 3.5 3-pointers. Check. Ge Santos, scoring more than 14.5 points. Check. Julius effing Randle actually needed 9 points. I bet on the over of 18.5 points. You son of a bitch. Anyways, I digress. So the Minnesota Timberwolves losing tonight, 116-103. Julius Randle tonight had 32 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. A final in Dallas, an upset there. The Mavericks actually winning a game. They beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland. Safe to say that's an upset, 130-120. The final score, the Mavs improving to 23-45. The Cavaliers dropping to 41-27. Cooper Flagg, 27 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists in the win. Donovan Spida Mitchell, 26 points, 11 assists in the loss. The Toronto Raptors defeating a team that's been struggling a bit of late. The Detroit Pistons, 119-108 the final. Jakob Poeltl, the man who's been stealing tens of millions of dollars from the Toronto Raptors for years, actually contributing tonight. 21 points, 18 rebounds in the win. Cade Cunningham, 33 points, 9 assists in the loss. A final in Milwaukee. The Bucks, 134-123 winners tonight over the Indiana Pacers. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 31 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists in the win. Aaron Nesmith, 32 points in the loss. The Pacers dropping to 15-53. The Bucks improving to 28-39. A result that helped the Warriors. If they're not trying to tank, if they are trying to tank, this did not help the Warriors. The Philadelphia 76ers, 109-103 winners tonight over the Trailblazers in Philly. The 76ers improving to 37-31. The Portland Trailblazers dropping to 32-36. Just a half game behind the Warriors, who are 32-35. The Warriors would have been the 10 seed tonight if Portland had won. And in the biggest game of the night, this was a barn burner, folks. If you had tickets to Golden One Center, you got to see the beam getting lit. Ooh. Congrats if you were there. I mean, you better frame that ticket. Sacramento beating Utah tonight, 116-111. The Kings on a tear, improving to 18-51. Utah dropping to 20-48. Yes, I'm being sarcastic about all that. Obviously, Kings and Jazz is one of the least interesting games you can witness. Cody Williams, 34 points, 7 boards, 7 assists in the loss for Utah. DeMar DeRozan, whose talents have been wasted for the last 5-6 years between Chicago and Sacramento. 41 points, 11 assists, 3 steals for DeRozan, who is cashing them checks, boy. So good for him. And we're done. KKS in the chat saying, I'm going to be in San Diego. Good for you. My former home of 4 years. Congrats. Cemetery Larry asking, am I going to be at the function? What function? What are you talking about? Oh, are you referring to the Warriors and Hawks watch party in Oaktown? No, I'm going to be safe and secure in the Golden Days Studios in West Sonoma County, California. The day before the Warriors-Hawks game, the professor Armando Laura is going to join me for a Warriors. Who do they play that day? The Warriors and Pistons. Oh boy, that's going to be an interesting one. The Warriors play the Pistons Friday night, trap game, and then they play the Hawks Saturday. Armando will join me Friday for Warriors Pistons post game, and then I'm sure he'll check in from the scene Saturday night. But we'll be having a show here. There will be a party that I will be involved in when Steve Kerr's gone. When that moment comes, because we're not celebrating a 5th championship, those days are over. So when the day comes that Steve Kerr is out, you bet your ass there's going to be a venue and there's going to be a party, and I will be there, and I hope you're there, and let's have some fun. But until then, no party for me. But you folks, I hope you have fun at the food truck in Oakland on Saturday. Otherwise, we're back tomorrow. I don't know where Chardol is, but Barber is saying party and tattoo. Only a tattoo if they got a 5th championship. That was the deal. That was what I was willing to sacrifice if Steve Kerr made me eat my words. I'm still waiting for that. Until we're back tomorrow night. Chardol, where are you, buddy? We missed you tonight. Go give the kid some subs. SGA Sports Talk. It makes his night. Yeah, Riz. There ain't no 5th ring happening, man. That's a pipe dream. The only way a 5th ring is happening is if somehow the Warriors get LeBron James on the roster next year and they get a top 4 pick, and that top 4 pick ends up being like AJ DeBonsa, and you get some amazing free agents, and you're blessed with health. That's probably the biggest reach, given your best players would be 42 and 39 and 37 coming off an ACL tear, and Draymond Green. So it's not, I'm not going to say never. I'm not saying impossible. There still might be a tattoo in the works at the end of in the summer of 2027. I wouldn't keep my hopes up for that. I'm not expecting it, but weirder things have happened. Until tomorrow, hope everyone's having a nice night. Hope you had a nice weekend. See you after the Warriors and the Wiz. Bye-bye.